will give you an analysis of your property right now, telling you what it will sell for, then what you'll net and what you can buy. It's all free. It is a complimentary service. Frank wants you to be a wise consumer, and he knows before you list, before you do anything, you're going to want to know about what you'll make. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. And speaking of real estate, if you're facing any kind of a transaction with real estate and you want someone looking over your documents, O'Brien Legal Services. He's our real estate expert. We've had Brad on the air for like a couple years now, and he's been so good at answering questions, whether it be with the transaction itself, with leases, with commercial deals, with anything that you have with real estate, anything. O'Brien Legal Services. Call him. He'll consult you on the phone and then tell you what it will cost or give you an estimate. olslaw.com. It's wise. olslaw.com. 720-370-7388. One Clear Choice garage doors. What do I mean by that? Just what it says. It's your one clear choice. Why? Because first of all, if you go to their website, every price for every service and every product published. That's how proud they are of their deals. One Clear Choice Doors.com. OneClearChoiceDoors.com. They have 24/7 service, too, for emergencies if you can't get your door open or closed, if you have a broken spring, if you need help, and, of course, regular service and maintenance, new garage doors, as well as new openers. That's OneClearChoiceDoors.com.
Done right. Kitchens, baths, counters, and floors. Finished
Okay,
basement.
did all that, bro.
Thank you.
Now, if Joe wants to do something, I can, because I put a lot of my in-house stuff in the break, I can now do his spot in content, Kachina, if we need to.
I know. I'm still trying to get a hold of him.
Okay, but if we do, I can work him in. You know, and I can work him in any time during the show today.
I'm still trying to get a hold of him.
No, I know, but don't be in a hurry. It doesn't matter. I can get him in. And are we on YouTube? Oh, yeah, we are. Thank you.
Lives today.
What's that?
Honestly. You don't have any more live 120s today, so we can work him in it.
Oh, no, I can work him in even in content because I put my in-house. I don't have any
Yeah.
in-house left. Okay, good.
I got you.
Thanks.
Your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. 630 KHAL, an iHeartRadio station.
All right, we just got up on YouTube, and we stream every day on YouTube and Facebook, so welcome my Facebook flunkies.
Sorry
and everyone.
about that. We had some technical difficulties, which means I had to reboot the system.
Okay.
Yeah, so
well,
we just had a little
So
bit
are
of
we
a-
up now?
We are up. We should be up.
We're up. Okay. We're up. Oh, let me turn that down. You can tell when I tune in. Okay, there we go. So anyway, welcome. YouTube morons, Facebook flunkies, we're here, and we are ready to go for you. Now, as far as this landscaping thing, let's continue. Kelsey, so when
She
did
dropped off
you
the line,
guys...
Tom. Hold on.
What's that, guys?
She dropped.
Did she
She
drop?
dropped off the line. Yeah, she'll be right back.
Okay, good. She'll be right back. John Fuller, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Someone wants to know, with malpractice, Tom, this is the text, so I'm just reading. Tom always discourages. I don't always discourage, but the text says I always discourage it, saying it's too expensive and you hardly ever win. I don't want to put a negative bend on it, but what's the truth about malpractice, John? It really, really is difficult, isn't it?
It is. I mean, the standard is very high, and we have a mechanism in Colorado that requires that you have what's called a standard of care expert before you file a lawsuit. And that means another doctor who has the same or similar credentials as the one that you're complaining of that will go on record up front and say the other doctor screwed up, basically. And if you don't have that, you can't file a lawsuit, or if you do file a lawsuit instead, it's going to get dismissed and you'll owe a bunch of money. So the risk is pretty high. Now, interestingly enough, we have one major insurance carrier.
That's what I was going to
Colorado
say. That's the dirty secret.
Yeah, that insures most of the doctors, if not almost all
So
of the doctors.
if you're insured by them and you're asked to be an expert against another doctor insured by them, could you be blackballed?
Well, they'll certainly send one of their attorneys to sit in the meeting with you that you know, and listen, the unmistakable message is that they don't want any of their insured attorneys to be cooperating with plaintiffs that are bringing malpractice cases, okay? That's probably not a written policy anywhere, but it's certainly in practice. And so the reality is that you have to go out of state to find these experts that are not insured by this company, and that does get very expensive. Sometimes, you know, $5,000 to $7,000 just to get a doctor to review it. So it's not that you're just trying to poo-poo the medical malpractice cases. They are difficult. They do cost an awful lot of money. They are for all the marbles, and there's a very good chance that they're going to make you go all the way to trial just because that's a way for them to win by attrition, which means you better be very well healed before you can even bring that case and take it all the way to the end. So when you have the average little run-of-the-mill bad outcome, you know, a bad outcome doesn't equal malpractice. There has to have been a mistake that leads to the damages. And for the run-of-the-mill case, it's just not worth it, you know?
Kelsey, we got you back. So you and your neighbors hired who?
We hired John Moreno with Get Her Done Landscaping.
Get Her Done Landscaping. And tell me, when did you hire him?
We hired him right at the end of May, maybe first day of June.
And what's the problem? He started all of the jobs, some of the jobs. Are you speaking for just yourself or the neighborhood? Tell me how many people do you know hired him?
So I know of myself and 3 others that have hired him.
And what happened? He started the jobs?
He has started them. He has not completed them.
Now, what percentage did he do of the jobs, like the most and the least?
So I would say they're all probably about 75% complete.
Okay. Well, it doesn't sound like a ripoff. It sounds like someone who's overwhelmed. Or maybe he ran out of money too.
He is definitely runs out of money. I can tell that. My biggest problem with him is that he tells a lot of. He's a storyteller, that's for sure. He has a different excuse and a different lie every day, and he also posts a lot of TikToks where he is able to spend his money and time at the bar, but cannot seem to finish our job.
Kelsey, he got 75% of the work done. So I got two questions. First, the work that was done, good, better, best?
Good.
Okay, and does it have to be redone, any of it?
Yes, part of it will need to be redone.
Now, and did you pay more than 75%?
Yes.
Why?
My bad, I guess.
Did all of the neighbors pay ahead of time too?
Yes.
Are you paid in full, Kelsey?
Yes.
Gosh, dang it. How much did you
lesson
pay?
learned there. So in total, we've paid. It just depends on the house, but I would
yours,
say the
what did you
average
pay for 100% of the job?
About $13,000.
13. Okay. You paid $13,000 for 100% of the job. What does he say about it?
Every day he says he's on his way to finish.
And how did you find Get Her Done? Let me guess. Facebook Marketplace or next door?
He was door knocking in the neighborhood.
Yeah. That's, by the way, again, not a sure sign of a ripoff, but let's put it this way. If we took a universe of ripoffs, we would have 98% of all ripoffs start at the door. It doesn't mean that everyone who comes to your door is a ripoff, but if you took the universe of people ripped off, 98% of them would say it started with a knock at the door when it comes to home services. So it's a bad place to start. But in any case, you're in deep right now, and we're going to give him a call. Now, where is he out of? What part of town are we talking here?
So I'm in Severance. So he
Severance.
runs around here in Windsor, it seems like.
Okay, so he's up north.
Yep.
Okay. And then I want to give him a call, too. Who should we put on this, Kachina?
I'll give him a call right now,
Doc.
Tom.
Oh, yeah, Doc's in the studio. Okay, Doc, let's do that. Let's give him a call and see if we can at least hear what he has to say, get a good impression for this, and we'll see. I'm Tom Martino, 303-713-8255.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Michael Brown in the morning and Dan Kaplis in the afternoon. 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate.
It's a calm drive throughout the Denver metro, and as we hit that 10 o'clock hour, I-25 north and southbound showing highway speeds through town, as well as up north to the Fort Collins area and down south to Colorado Springs as well. Back to town, heading east-west, I-70, no complaints from the foothills to DIA and back again. Some slowdowns through Commerce City, nothing too out of the ordinary here. I-270 westbound, some stop-and-go traffic between Northfield and Quebec. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, mostly sunny skies. It's another hot one out there today, folks. High of 98 degrees, overnight low of 66. Tomorrow, scattered thunderstorms with a high of 93. The current temperature in Denver is 80 degrees with your Impact Traffic and weather. Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
You know, I just posted a new video today on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and all that. It's about, well, not Facebook, but YouTube and all the rest. So here it is. It's about the whole house fan and an attic fan and how ventilation is very important to cool your home and how to save money on air conditioning. And I recommended QC, Colorado. I did that on my own. I am a customer. I have them in my home. And I'll tell you what, it's unbelievable what it does. This fan, a whole house fan, destratifies your air, evens out your temperatures, therefore your air conditioner works less. That's the short story. In reality, there's so many different ways to use it. Some people turn it on in the morning and at night, and they turn the air off completely. Some people put it on all night, or some people leave their house cooking all day. They don't want to waste air conditioning, and in order to cool it down when they get home, they turn on that fan, and boom, within 10 minutes, the entire house is cooled down and evened out, and then the air conditioner works less. QCcolorado.com. Check them out. You will love this company. You will love the way they do business, and you will love how fast and easy it is for an installation and how much money you'll save. 303-800-3419. 303-800-3419. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Now, you heard me talk about his free analysis of your property, giving you an idea of what to list it for, what it will sell for, based on his vast experience. I'm going to tell you some other stuff. Frank also doesn't require you to stay with him on a long-term contract. Now, let me explain the comfort in that. He knows he's going to please you based on his experience, and he knows the business so well, he's not going to penalize you or force you to stay with him if you're not happy. He says give him a day, and you'll see what he can do, including outbound marketing to hundreds of thousands of prospective buyers. 303-920-1622, Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. How much time do I have? How much time do I have?
4.5 minutes.
Thank you. Be right back.
Yeah, I got. Yep.
And 970-573-2620.
Thank you very much.
And I told her that you probably call her after.
I'm gonna call him now. See if we can. Maybe we.
Call her now.
Yeah, maybe we can get this guy on the phone.
I'll put my time in when I do it from now on there, Kelly.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's just, I need to get your stuff set up, right?
No, I can get it on my phone, but I can't get it on that iPad.
I could do this in a couple seconds. This computer is actually
Where's the Dragon Man?
Dragon is on vacay.
Yeah, let's let you know I'm going to Alaska next week, so I won't be.
Oh yeah.
I'll send
So
you guys-
who's on the board? Shannon?
No, that's B large.
Oh, Billard is here.
Holy crap! This is so loud. You're on YouTube.
Hello, this is Kelsey.
Hey Kelsey, this is Doc from the Martino Show.
Hi.
Hey, what's the guy's name at this landscaping place?
His name is John Moreno.
And what's his phone number?
Phone number is 785-443-2370.
Okay, I'm gonna call him right now. Hold on the line, okay?
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get the list and learn something from the expert.
Project managers. If you're organized, not afraid to walk on roofs, and a people person, call me. 303-761-6400. ExcelRoofing.com.
We're on top of it. The best things in life They come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless. Now with 2.
Tommy back.
Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Denver's talk station. Online at khout.com.
Hey, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show. We have John Fuller with us, and we are here solving problems. If you have any questions, complaints. I do have a question here. By the way, I gave out my private number, my private Google number. It does come directly to me 24/7. So you can text me at 747-999-5280. 747-999-5280. Now, we also have the station's text, which is 57739. So anyway, I do have a question here, and let me go to it. Okay, so somebody wants to know about QC Kinetics. That's QC, and it's Kinetix. They want to know what it is. Now, I want to explain something to you. This is really important to me. Regenerative medicine is a word given to multiple therapies, multiple ones. Originally, regenerative medicine was mainly something called prolotherapy. That just means self-healing. And prolotherapy originally, and it still is there, was injecting into painful areas an irritant like cayenne pepper or something like that. Now, you might ask, why the hell would they do that to an injury or into a painful area? Well, they used to be, before that, called trigger point injections or dry needling or any kinds of stuff like that, where trigger point injections later became pain medicine injected into that area or steroids. But really, originally, somehow researchers or doctors knew back in the day that if you irritated an area, it would self-heal. Now, the injury itself might have been so severe you didn't get that healing started, or you may have interrupted the healing by being immobile or by icing or something like that. That's right. Icing actually interrupts healing. Now, it does hold down inflammation and give relief, but it slows down healing. Technically, when you get injured, the idea of swelling is to immobilize the joint, and the idea of the white blood cells is to rush into the area and to clean out the area, and then red blood cells to increase circulation, and then blah, blah, blah. So you heal. Again, prolotherapy would put an irritant into the joint, which would cause your body to go after the irritant and form a bit of scar tissue and healing tissue. That's why scar tissue is more hardy than surrounding tissue, because it's meant to bind and to secure. So that's what prolotherapy was. Then later on, people said, well, let's help prolotherapy. Let's not just do this injection of cayenne or capsaicin. Why don't we put some blood in it? So they did platelets, blood platelets. And that's platelet-rich plasma, PRP. And then that was used as a prolotherapy. That's a regenerative medicine. Then stem cells came along. And people said, let's do stem cells. Here's the problem in stem cell therapy. You have two kinds. One, your donor stem cells are taken out and re-injected. The second kind is where they take out stem cells from others, and then they put them into a lab and ship them around the country. Now, I want to say something because this is really important. And this cost me a lot of money back in the day when I rejected people who did the shipping of the cells because I wouldn't represent them. Now, as with everything in life, things change. It is still best, still very best, to have your own stem cells harvested and reused. That's the best therapy. You get more living stem cells if you do that. Platelet-rich plasma is a good therapy. The combination is even better. But here is what happens, like a QC kinetics case, whatever it's called. The kinetics place. There's nothing wrong with them. These places use mostly stem cells that are shipped in. You don't get many living stem cells when that happens, but you still get regenerative powers. So to say it's useless would not be accurate, but to say it's as good as other stem cell therapy would not be accurate. So it does have healing qualities. That's regenerative medicine. And QC Kinetics, that's what they do. As far as I know, they don't have stem cells they extract from you. But maybe they do, but I don't think they do. Somebody else wants to know. So that's the long and short of it, of regenerative therapies. Now, technically, steroids are not regenerative. In fact, they're just the opposite. They do help, but they're degenerative over time. And pain medicines are not regenerative. They're masking remedies and therapies. Nothing wrong with it, but that's what they are. So you are going to hear regenerative therapy used a lot. Like Denver Regen, for example. DenverRegen.com I use. They do stem cell therapy. They extract them from you and re-inject them, but they also do ones that are shipped in for certain things, and they mix them with your own. So they do a combination sometimes, and then they do some PRP as well. And they're right here local, DenverRegen.com. Okay, so in any case, that is the story about regenerative medicine. Now I have another question here. This is, for some reason, people are texting. Would it be a good idea to refinance your house loan to become debt-free? Okay, this is all in the math. If you can get a mortgage lower than what you're paying in credit cards, even though you have to turn in a mortgage that is a low interest rate. For example, if you have a low rate, like I think this person has 3.5%. What you have to do is say, what am I paying right now? So if you have, like, I'm going to use easy numbers, $100,000 you're paying at 3.5%, and you're paying another 25 at 19%, you have to do a mathematical formula to find out your blended rate, okay? So let's say your blended rate is 12%. Well, then, yes, you refi, because even if your mortgage goes to 7, your mortgage is still going to be 7, and then that 20% comes down to 7, 3.5 goes up to 7, but when you do your blended rate, it'll still be lower than the blended rate you had beforehand. So it's all in the math. And if you don't know how to do a formula for blended rates, just ask someone or go online, use AI or something like that. But that's the magic of math. There is no opinion here. You should refi if your blended rate per month will be less. But there's one other thing you should keep in mind. I'll go over right after this.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm.
Calming down throughout the Denver Metro for the late morning commute. I-25 north and southbound showing highway speeds through town as well as up north to Fort Collins and down south through Castle Rock to the Colorado Springs area as well. Back to town, some good news on the northeast end. I-270 westbound, a crash at Vasquez has been all cleared up. Still seeing some slow traffic back from I-70, about 5 minutes of delays. I-70 east and westbound flowing free from the foothills to the IA and back again. Fox 31, pinpoint weather. It's a sunny day out there and warm as well with a high of 98 this afternoon. Overnight low of 66. We're expecting some clouds to roll in tomorrow with some scattered thunderstorms, high 93. The current temperature in Denver is 84 degrees. With your impact traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
It's Mattress Firm's semi-annual sale and clearance. Save up to 60% on a wide selection of quality mattresses at every price. Plus, score a free adjustable base with a qualifying purchase. Hurry and stop by Mattress Firm today.
American Restoration is a company you hear me talk about. It's actually called American Restoration 24/7 because they are available 24/7, as any restoration company should be. But the term restoration is used in a lot of situations. Sometimes they're not really restoration companies at all. They're carpet cleaners, or they're plumbers, or they're contractors. Here's the deal. American Restoration has the EPA certifications, the knowledge, the know-how, the insurances, and the bonding, and everything you need to get the job done right. So please don't just call anyone. Ask about their qualifications. Do they know about unattended death, black mold, asbestos? Do they know about dangerous substances? Do they know how to abate things the proper way? And have they worked with insurance companies? That's what you want to know. And then you're going to call amrest247.com or American Restoration 8337 AMREST. That stands for American Restoration 8337 AM-REST. Hey, if you're looking for solar, and you should be, I'm not kidding. If you get a good company, solar is golden. And Red Rocks Roof and Solar is a great company. They use components sourced right here in the U.S., so that means you get a 40% tax credit. They also have ways with commercial properties to get you a free solar system. It's paid for through depreciation tax credits and a grant from REAP, R-E-A-P. I want you to check them out, redrocksrs.com. They'll answer you honestly and openly and help you through your solar system. Everything from sales, installation, and service. 303-704-2449. You know, RVs, I used to joke, mean real vacation. Now, recreational vehicles is what it really means, but you know what? They are real vacations because you set your own schedule. And LazyDays.com is the RV authority we're proud to represent because no matter where you go in the country, you're going to find Lazy Days, and they have service centers, and they have lots for new and used RVs. They'll take yours in trade. They'll even buy your used RV. They have one right here, a brand new service facility, exit 240 and I-25 on Frontage Road right there. LazyDays.com.
Here.
Good morning. Thanks so much for calling the Tom Martino Show. Oh, all I'm hearing is static. Please call me right back. Thank you so much. Good morning. Thanks so much for calling the Tom Martino Show. No problem. No, that's okay. So we can get you in content on like this next break. I just need to let Tom know so he can kind of work you into it. We have one caller on. It's about credit card fraud. So all right, I will put you on hold and let me talk with him for a second.
So this, what you got there, Doc?
Hey, Tom?
Yes.
I can work Joe in, but you've got a caller.
Well, I'm going to take callers first, so he has to
Right.
call back.
You want to?
I'm not going to get him in. I'm not. Yeah, it'll have to be.
How about 11, like 15-ish?
Yeah, whenever. Just anytime we have an opening.
Really? Can I see the picture again?
And he has to understand
Okay,
that
so we
he
have
was
a
not
caller
open.
on, and callers take priority, so we're going to go ahead and work you in probably after the top of the hour, 11:15-ish, so I'll call you back. Yeah, yeah.
Can I see the picture?
Okay.
Oh, you want to see it? Yeah, because
Okay.
when I
All
grabbed
right.
it, it went away.
Paris and iHeartRadio is the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics. It's the only way to listen to exclusive NBC play-by-play action of the games, plus NBC's top Olympic moments and live hourly updates from Paris. Bring the Summer Games with you everywhere you go. Download the free iHeart app now and enable push notifications for live updates from Paris. Only on iHeartRadio, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics.
Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hey, Tom Martino here. Now, one thing I wanted to say, I did want to talk about a blended rate consolidation caution, but I need to take Dave, and then we'll get started with him, and then I'll talk about it's good to consolidate if you can get a lower blended rate, but there are some cautions when you do equity loans or refinancing to pay off debt that I'll go over, I promise you. But Dave, go ahead and let's talk about this credit card fraud. What's going on?
Hey, Tom, good morning.
Hey.
I'm looking for some guidance on this. I had back in May, somebody took out a credit card in my name, has my address on it.
How do you know?
I got a bill.
Okay.
So I got a bill from, like a Visa.
All right.
Signature card.
Now, so you get the bill at your place, and did you look at the statement?
Yes.
Where were the charges made? Anywhere place you're familiar with?
It's one charge, and it's somebody transferred from another credit card to this credit card.
Yeah. So, and you're positive it's not you, so obviously. So how much is it?
About $1,500.
Okay. Did you contact the company?
I've contacted the company.
Is it a legit credit card? What credit card is it?
Yes, it is. It's a Breeze Easy Visa signature card.
Okay.
I've looked it up online, and everything else tells me it is.
Okay. And so, what do they say?
Well, they say what they want is my Social Security, last digits of my Social Security number and telephone number.
Of course.
And I tell them I'm not willing to give it to them.
Why?
Well, I just figure that if they've got my name and everything else, they've got plenty of information.
Yeah, but they want to see how much. Okay, I understand. Listen, here's what you do then, okay? I'm not going to tell you what to do as far as that goes. I would give them the last four digits, and I would give them the information. But I'm going to give you some very important information on how to handle this, okay? And it's critical that you follow my steps. We'll do that right after this. I don't want to rush you. And a lot of people face this. They do face this, and they want to know, what the hell do I do? Because they're going to come after you, okay? Especially if you don't cooperate. Because if you don't cooperate, they're going to assume you're guilty. We'll address this right after that, plus cautions on consolidation loans.
You wouldn't know it, but most financial advisors are put in a box. I'm Jeff Jr. from Trade.
Tom?
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, so I had the people from QC Colorado come to my place yesterday.
Yes.
And here's my question. I don't have a basement, and they're saying that I should leave some windows open to draw in cold air. But if I leave the windows open, I'm drawing in hot air. Did you have any windows open?
Okay, hold on. How many floors do you have?
2.
Okay. And is there a differential in temperature?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Now, what they mean is that on your lowest level, you would leave cracked windows to in different areas, like one side of the house and the other, in a smaller place, or three places. I do that in my basement. I leave cracked windows. Okay, I don't open them wide. I leave cracked windows.
Okay.
Now here's the deal. Listen carefully. Yeah, you draw in hot air if you do it in the hottest part of the day, but there's a couple ways to do it. What you do is you use it, like right when you leave the house now on really hot days. Do you leave your air conditioner on?
No, I shut it off because I'm gone. It's only me, so there's nobody in the house.
I understand that. But when you come home, does it take a long time? Your air probably works really hard to cool it down then, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't take that long because it's not that big a place.
Okay, then you may not be a candidate. But for me, in a big house, it would be really hot. And then when I get home, it takes a really long time and it works hard. So here's how different people use it. One way to use it is to turn it on in the early morning or in the evening when it cools down. That'll just move cool air through your home almost every night. There's almost no nights that are hot enough where you can't do that.
Right.
And if it is a little moderate, you use low speed. If it's really cool, you use higher speed. Then you set your air conditioner at a pre-designated temperature, a little higher than normal, because it's not going to kick on that much. And then what happens is most of that cool air, just by destratifying that air, your air conditioner will come on and off when it's needed. The open windows will not matter when you have that fan on, because the air conditioner won't escape because the air is moving the other way. And the only air being expelled is the hottest air. So it's always keeping convective currents going, with the coolest air dropping and the hottest air leaving. And so you can leave it on high on really, really cool nights you want, or cool mornings. So some people turn it on in the evening, like when it starts to cool down, and they leave it on till 6 or 7 in the morning, or 8 or 9 or whatever. And then they leave the house and turn everything off. I personally leave my whole house fan on at a very low speed, and I leave it on all the time. Now, I know the guy that puts it in says, well, that's not the way. Well, guess what? It works for me. I keep it on a low speed all day and all night. My house never gets overheated. Then I set my air conditioner up high when I'm out. Not high, but hot.
Right,
and then I turn it down when I get home. And then in the evening, if it's really cool, I just turn that fan up higher. But I always leave it on a low speed. It takes some experimenting on what's best for your house and your conditions, but it really does work well. Now, the only disadvantage, when I say disadvantage, it's not a big disadvantage, but where you leave windows cracked, of course, you want to have screens, right? Because obviously it pulls in stuff. And those screens, once in a while, it will pull debris, not through the house, but they'll filter kind of your house. You can buy actual screens that are HEPA or really good filters, and they actually filter the air that comes into your house. You don't have to do that, but some people do that as well. You can actually buy screen material to filter. But if you don't, you just have to simply every now and then maybe wipe off that screen.
Right.
But anyway, I'm telling you that in my house, for my square footage, it reduced my air conditioning at least by half most of the time, and more so all of the time. I mean, if you take it into consideration. I don't know, like, it all depends on the configuration of your home and the differential of temperatures.
Yeah, the differential is amazing.
Then it's going to work.
Okay, great.
It's going to work with you just on low speed. Just keeping things even will help you. That'll help your air conditioner. Just keeping it even, you're going to feel more comfortable, and you're not going to need as much air. That's what I found. By leaving it on low speed, my air conditioner, I can turn up higher. See, I used to leave my air conditioner, like, let's say at 68 or 70, because I couldn't feel it in all parts of the house. When I left my whole house fan on a low speed, I could feel it. I didn't have to turn it down that much, because if I had it honest to God, I have it at 76, and my house is as cool because it feels better. you used to have to overcompensate for the hot areas, and you don't have to do that with the whole house fan.
Okay, cool. They gave me a good deal on it.
Oh man, it's incredible. And now you don't need a really big one, right?
No.
Yeah.
But like I said, he gave me a pretty good deal on the, once I told him that, who I was.
Good, excellent.
Yeah. I will let you know how it works.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I have a question for John Fuller when you get a minute.
Okay, good. All right.
Okay.
By the way, you guys are talking like you've never had menopause.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. I don't.
Here
Trust
we go.
me, when you have to open the freaking freezer to get any sort of relief, it's a problem.
He's only running his AC half.
Oh, yeah, I know that. The question is it okay to do without a basement? And the differential between my two floors.
I've got a whole house fan, which is similar, and I always leave all the...
Never change. That is, treat people like you want to be treated, do good work, price fairly, and back up what you say. That's our success formula. Here's our son Todd.
That's right, Dad. Been hearing that my whole life from you and Mom. Folks, whether it's a first-class kitchen renovation, an awesome turnkey bathroom remodel, a full-service basement finish for some extra space, or replacement windows and doors that will wow you, give us a call. With an 8% scheduling incentive and bank financing to ask about, now couldn't be a better time.
Kitchens, baths, counters, and floors, finished basements, windows, and doors. You have our word. We'll treat you right at Done Right. Call us to reserve your spot in our schedule. 303-722-2295, 800-362-8370, or drhi.com.
Denver's talk station has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Bank. That's bank. Enter it now at khow.com. Inflation salvation on 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hey, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. Okay, so listen, we have a number of discussions going on. I want to get right to them. I have John Fuller with me, too, my personal injury expert, myaccidentlawyer.co. And he's talking about more than just personal injury. But if you have any questions, you can call him. I want to talk about this blended rate thing, okay? Now, again, it's a mathematical formula. So you have a certain percent, like a certain amount of money you're paying at, let's say, 3% on your house. And then you have credit card bills you're paying at 19% or 20%, and then you have what's called a blended rate. That means you take the percentage you're paying at a certain percentage and the other percentage you're paying at another percentage, and you get a blended rate. A blended rate means your real rate you're paying every month for all your bills, not just one of them. So if your blended rate turns out to be lower than your blended rate before a home equity loan, then that by all means refinance. So if you have a 3.5% loan, okay, and it's $100,000. Let's say your home, I'm using fake numbers, but let's say your home loan's $100,000 and you're paying 3.5%, and that's all you have. Then your blended rate is 3.5%, right? Now, let's say you have another $100,000 in credit card bills. So let's say you're paying 5% on your home at $100,000, and you're paying 10%, or you're paying 15% on the other $100,000, then you can see where that average would be easy to figure out. Where it gets more difficult to figure out a blended rate is where you have different bills at different interest rates. But you can figure out a blended rate. When you do, you then compare it. And if you can refi your home and get a lower blended rate, you should do it. But there is some caution here. Here's the caution. When you consolidate your credit cards, you're putting a lot of short-term assets into a long-term loan. That's not good financially, because a lot of the things you're throwing in there might be vacations or clothes or an appliance that aren't meant to be financed for 30 years or 20 years. So it's a bad financial move, although it's saving you monthly. So what should you do about that? If you get a better blended rate, it's your turn, it's your chance, I should say, to pay more than on the part of the principal that represents short-term assets. So instead of paying mostly interest, because you've lowered your blended rate, you can now take extra money and put it toward the principal for that part of the principal that you need to pay off. The other thing you can do is this. You can also take the blended rate you have and keep it the way it is, but you can't keep adding to it. A lot of times when people pay off their credit cards with an equity loan, they have empty credit cards and psychologically feel, oh, I can use that card. And so they start charging them up again, and they end up now with twice as much debt. They have the debt they refied into their home that they had forgotten about, and now they have new debt piling up on their cards. So those are the two cautions. Pay off the principal quicker, the part that represents these assets that won't last, or the makeup or the vacations or whatever. And then also, don't keep loading up your cards. Now with the credit card fraud, Dave says, what do I do? They want the last 4 digits of my social, and they want some other information. Well, Dave, I personally don't have a problem with that, but I'm not going to tell people to do it. So you really only have 2 choices, okay? Really only 2. One, you cooperate with them and hope that they realize it's not you. But some people feel, oh, they're just going to use that information to shore up their information to make it look like me. But John Fuller, attorney at law, I want to ask you something. What do you think the chances are of a legit credit card company saying, you call and say, somebody took out this card in my name, it's not me, and they ask you for information? What do you think the chances are, and I really want your honest opinion, of them taking that information and now putting it into that application to make it look more like you?
Fairly slim, Tom. You know, the credit card companies can actually go out and do searches, and I only know this from personal experience, where, you know, if they're looking for Tom Martino, they can put, you know, or anybody really close to Tom. So you may get a same birth date, or another Martino that lives one door down. And what they're trying to do is find somebody that's kind of impersonating somebody else, or that kind of stuff. And so they can already do that without the social. So they likely found you that way. And so all they're really probably trying to do is to verify that you are who you say you are,
right.
And that may be one step closer to getting it worked out. But I doubt that that's going to make them come after you any more than they already are.
Thank you. That's well put. And that's the way. That's what I wanted to say, Dave. But like I said, you have 2 choices. One is to cooperate. The second one is not to cooperate. See, just 2 choices. Now, what happens if you don't cooperate? They're going to not believe you, and they're going to come after you, which is fine. They can come after you. They're also going to try to maybe put it on your credit report. It's better if they come after you in court, because what you'll simply do is show up at court and defend yourself. It's not me. They'll have to show signatures and proof, and they won't. They won't be able to. It's that simple. Okay?
But
now,
you can also exercise your rights, Tom. You can demand that they provide you written evidence of debt and your signature, and you can go down that road and make them do that stuff, and they'll have to do that. But chances are whoever opened that credit card, probably did sign your name to it and stuff. So they may think that they're doing the Lord's work here, and that it's a completely legitimate, proven otherwise.
And they're not, by the way.
Where was the card opened?
And that's why I want to say something. That's one of the reasons they want the social and other information, because they can't share the information with you unless they know who they're dealing with.
And if it was John and Tom, if it was physically in like a different state or city, that's also isn't that
sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, if it was open in Georgia and he's in Colorado, that's certainly going to make his case for him.
But let me explain something to people that they may not realize. And I don't mean to speak down to people, but this is something that we also have to realize. There are a lot of consumers who are really good at scamming this way. In other words, they actually send their credit card information to a relative in Georgia, and they say, go on out to a Best Buy and let's buy 2 giant TVs. You send me one and you keep one. And then I'm going to protest the charge. I mean, there are people that do that. So then they protest the charge saying, I haven't been in Georgia. You see? So that's why just saying someone else did it is not enough. But when push comes to shove, they have to show that it was you. And actually, even if you did one of those scams where you had a friend in Georgia buy you a big screen and bought themselves one, and then the credit card company takes you to court, even in that case, they still have to prove it. And nobody's going to be able to prove it. I mean, let's put it this way. No one will take the time to prove it. They'd go to look at the security footage when the purchase was made, see who the person is. I mean, come on. The practicality is they're not really going to come after you if you say it was fraud. Do you realize a line item for credit card issuers on fraud is just that? They're write-offs. They're write-offs. That's why we pay the interest rates we pay. It's a calculated write-off. So those are the 2 ways you deal with it. 303-713-TALK. Mitch, you have a question. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. My brother he had a new plane he built, stole one of those little Bush pilot planes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I just got back, and he had a trainer. He didn't have his license yet, and this girl was training it, and they went to Oshkosh.
Yeah.
And she dropped that plane on landing there, stalled it, and dropped it. And he broke his pelvis, and it hurt, and they're not wanting to tell people.
Well, hold on. Let me analyze this. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know who the bad guy is here, but hang on, because it's interesting. Oshkosh is going on right now, the largest air show for people, and we'll talk about that and more coming up. 303-713-8255.
Regen Revolution has helped me so much in terms of getting mobile and active again, and now they'll be helping me and you at their new location near Old Town in Arvada. It's an expanded facility, so an even better version of the great care you've come to know from Regen Revolution. The combination of regenerative medicine and more traditional treatment modalities have gotten me back to being able to play sports and exercise in ways I thought I might never do again. Learn more at regenrev.com. That's REGENREV.com.
You know, if you want auto repair and maintenance, electrical included, and you want dependability and honesty and value, and you want longevity, all of it, and good people, SheridanAutotech.com. It's that simple. At Sheridan Autotech, they can even do maintenance through your regular warranty service. Did you know that? They can't do warranty items, but they can keep your car in warranty by doing your regular maintenance. They can do pre-buy inspections on used cars. Whatever it is, give them a call first. SheridanAutotech.com, 303-455-7242. Lazy Days RV is the RV authority. LazyDays.com. What does that mean? An RV authority means if you want to buy, you go there. If you want to sell, you go there. You want to trade, you go there. You want service, you go there. And they have multiple locations around the country. They have locations here in the Denver metro area. They have one up in Longmont area where they have that new service facility at exit I-25 and 240. It's I-25, exit 240. And I'm telling you, they're great people with a great facility, and they have support around the country. LazyDays.com. You know, estate planning is important, but so many people don't do it because of all the unknowns. Keelan Park takes all the unknowns out of it, meaning they go over your estate plan in a complimentary review. They go over what you have or don't have as far as a plan. They go over what you own, what you're invested in, what you're collected, what you have in business interests, and your heirs and your desires. All free of charge, complimentary. Then they come up with a plan, or maybe some alternate plans. And then they have pricing along with those plans, flat rate pricing, to get it all done. You decide how much you want to do. It's that easy. No one does business in a simpler fashion. LawKP.com. That's Keel and Park. LawKP.com. 970-818-8198.
This hour from the Trajan Wealth K-House Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. 630 K-How, an iHeartRadio station.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Not sure where we're going with this, but let's start. Now, Mitch, he says his brother ordered an airplane from a factory I think he's talking about. And it's a STOL airplane, meaning short takeoff and landing. It's for bush pilots or people, you know, whatever. So he said he was taking the airplane to Oshkosh, an air show, and there was an accident. Now, Mitch, you left a lot of holes in the story. Let me ask you, is this a factory-built aircraft?
No, it was built at the factory, but he would fly there and do a lot of work himself.
Okay, so this is they're called home-built aircraft, or they're called experimental aircraft. It's where you participate in building at least 51% of it. And sometimes factories set up work stalls where you can go and do the work, but they help you. Is that what he did?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so he got this experimental aircraft, and then he took delivery of it, And what happened then?
Yep. Well, he took delivery, he just finished it, and then he hired somebody that, instructor that wanted to get hours, so to take it there so he could get flight time.
I get it. Okay, now when he took it there, did he go with the instructor?
Yeah, he was in the plane.
So he hired an instructor to take him in this plane to Oshkosh.
Yes.
From where?
South Carolina, I believe.
Okay, then what happened?
Well, when they came around, that little grass runway or something, she stalled the plane and it dropped about 30 feet.
The instructor stalled it too high.
Yes.
Because we all stall when we land, right? That's what you do. You stall about 6 inches above the ground. Right. Okay. So she miscalculated and she landed hard.
Yep.
And did it hurt him?
Well, he cracked his pelvis. He's pretty sore. I don't.
Oh my gosh! Did it destroy the aircraft?
It's hard to tell, but yeah, all the framework inside and the landing gear is pretty much bent everywhere.
Okay, and did she hold her? Did you say it was a she?
Yeah.
Did she hold herself out as an expert in that type of aircraft?
I don't know that part. She was, the people that built it suggested her do it.
Okay. And may I ask another question? When you build an experimental aircraft, whether it's at the factory or at your home, you're supposed to have the FAA or a designee inspect it to get an airworthiness certificate, and then you're restricted around an airport for a certain amount of time before you can fly cross country. So did he do all of that?
He was flying it there a little bit. I don't know how much, but
I'm going to, let's assume for argument's sake, he did everything legally to get it to where he could take it to Oshkosh. And then he hired this instructor. So is he wondering if he has a case against the instructor?
I think so. He had insured for $200,000, which it was probably worth or something. They didn't want to go through insurance or anything like that.
Now, hold on. Did he also have insurance on that for his medical payments or personal injury?
Well, that I don't know. I just left him, but he was.
Now, is the instructor hurt?
I don't think so. I mean, a little beat up, but not. I don't think so. No, they walked away.
Because let me just tell you something. And is the plane still there?
Yeah, he had insurance companies. They put it on a trailer and they're storing it there now.
Okay, now, you understand she could actually sue him. Do you understand that?
No, I didn't.
Because he built the plane.
Yeah.
And this is the little known secret about experimental aircraft. You're taking full responsibility. She could claim that it was defective, and that's why she stalled it.
She was trying to say that. He was on the plane.
See, she's already trying to say that. So, John, this is a mess, right? John Fuller?
John.
Wait.
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, he's worried about going after her. He has to worry about her coming after him.
Should he get an
Tom,
attorney?
I mean, this is really more up your alley as far as the airplanes and stuff are concerned, but it just sounds like a mess when you're dealing with these homemade, planes and different certifications.
But let's call it an experimental car. Let's call it a hot rod.
Right.
What would happen? I mean, you'd go to insurance first, right?
For coverage for the injuries, of course.
Okay. And then after that, you would go, if you wanted to do, I mean, in other words, if you hired someone to help you drive, a race car driver to drive your hot rod out to a car show, and you're with them, and you get in an accident, I mean, either one can sue either one, right? You could say he was driving recklessly. He could say it was defective.
Well, of course. And one of the two of you is going to be right, or there's going to be an allocation of responsibility through, some sort of a comparative negligence or assumption of the risk or something along those lines. But, I mean, listen, insurance is not a separately liable party. It's just a substitute payer for some person's liability. So if the pilot is negligent in the operation of the plane and crashes and it's the pilot's fault, then the insurance company is going to pay for the damages that were done by the pilot. It's not the insurance company is a separately liable entity.
Right. And here's another thing, okay? Does she have anything if you do sue her? Here's the other thing, Mitch, he has to look at. Some instructors actually have insurance that they carry while they're instructing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Does she have insurance?
Well, I guess she should have.
Well, not necessarily. It's not required.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
these
okay.
are things
These
he's going to have to look at, John.
Right, but that would be a separate source of payment for her same liability.
Right.
And if she may be covered as a driver or a pilot under his policy as in effect, a permissive user, or she may have coverage under her own instructor's, liability policy, or there may be any number of other, avenues of payment, but it's still her negligence. Now, if there's a products liability type, component to this, the manufacturer or whoever that entity would be may have their own liability, or
Right.
it may get split between the pilot or the manufacturer. I like to think of it like this. You have one basket of damages. I mean, you just have one basket of damages. It's all your pain and suffering. It's your futures of everything, but it's still just one basket. Now, who's responsible for paying that basket off is a whole separate inquiry, and there may be people that have a small percentage of liability, maybe 10 or 15%. There may be people that own half of it, but you still just have one basket of damages that you look for everybody to be jointly responsible for.
Yeah. It is really a weird, Mitch, it's a weird situation. Now, did your brother, did he require medical attention?
Well, he went to the hospital, he did x-ray, but there's nothing they can do on fractured pelvis, really. He's just sore. But he was also saying that now that that's happened because it was his plane, he's not able to get insurance if he gets another plane for 5 years. Is that true?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, he's going to have especially an experimental plane. It's hard enough to get insurance on those. It's very difficult.
I didn't even know you could.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can insure it. You can insure anything. I mean, really, if you pay enough. Experimental aircraft don't have a bad safety record, really, for those. But it has to be done properly and all of that. And then, John, the fact. There are two kinds of experimental aircrafts. Well, probably way more, but the two main kind is what's called a kit that you buy from a factory, and it's been designed, and it's been put together, it's been flown, and so then you get one of those kits, or you literally buy plans, and you go out and buy tubing and materials and build it yourself. I mean,
make it yourself.
Yeah, so with a factory, I don't know of any, and I just looked it up, ever of any kit manufacturers being held responsible for because all they're selling are parts, are components. And then, but it gets really hairy when they allow you to come to the factory and assist in the building process. And, let's put it this way. It's one of the last bastions of the frontier where people haven't been polluted yet. I mean, and it's quickly. I can see it going away. I mean, really.
And you can also count on, Tom. I mean, in a completely voluntary environment, courts are going to enforce waivers, and I can't see that any company would let somebody come into their place and participate in the construction of a plane without waiving 58 ways from Sunday potential liability of that aircraft being unworthy down the road, don't you think?
Absolutely. In fact, the Experimental Aircraft Association is called the EAA. They put on Oshkosh, by the way. It's the largest pilots organization in the world. And what it does is it lobbies specifically for this kind of stuff. So they've been through it before. So Mitch, what he should call them for information. Although I will tell you this, they're going to look askance at someone trying to collect from each other. It's almost like an unwritten rule that when you're involved in this kind of thing, leave each other alone. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is. So it's a weird area of law. I personally have done an experimental aircraft from a kit, and mine was even weirder because I hired professionals to help me. And so it just gets so crazy. And when I sold mine, John, do you know I didn't sell an aircraft? Did you know that? I sold parts.
Just parts, essentially. Yeah.
That's exactly what I did. And not only did I sell parts, they were not airworthy until that person decided to assemble them or reassemble them or inspect them, blah blah blah. So there's just so many things that can go wrong. Mitch, I personally don't think anything's going to come of this unless this person is heavily insured and totally misrepresented herself. 303-713-8255.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino now. Michael Brown tomorrow morning at 6:30 KHOW Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate.
New delays through the Commerce City area. I-270 westbound at Vasquez. Reports of an accident has stop and go back from I-70, seeing about 15 minutes of slow driving. To the south end of town, South Havana Street northbound remains closed between East Mississippi Avenue and Tennessee Avenue due to an accident. Otherwise, a calm drive throughout the Denver Metro. I-25 north and southbound showing highway speeds through town. I-70 east and westbound flowing free from the foothills to DIA and back again. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, mostly sunny skies. It's a high of 98 this afternoon. Another hot one out there. Overnight low of 66. Tomorrow, clouds rolling in with thunderstorms, high 93. The current temperature in Denver is 89 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
If you ask me what kind of windows I'll put in my house as a replacement window, I truly would tell you Alpine windows made right here in Colorado. Now, prior to Alpine going residential, I would have picked something else, but Alpine is the window I'd use. A thermally insulated fiberglass frame and also an unbelievable glass panel that's insulated. And it's all done right here in Colorado, so you don't have any bleed off once it gets to our altitude because it's already here. And then you have the oldest home improvement company in all of Colorado exclusively dealing them for Alpine. K&H Home Solutions, khwindows.com, 303-421-7100. Hey, if you're looking for floor coverings, I love Buddy and Karen Mitchell, the mom and pop shop I call simplyfloorsinc.com. Not so small mom and pop where they can't get you great prices, but not so big where they forget your name. Buddy and Karen and the team will serve you at 3 locations, showrooms, or they'll come to you. Start out right here, Simply Floors Inc. That's INC, simplyfloorsinc.com.
Hello, Steve Powers here from Audi Denver. We have close to 200.
Give me his topic. Kachina. Kachina.
What's that?
Thank you.
How many did? That's all right. How many did we get? 3.
I should get pizza. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get damn pizza.
Well, 10 things pretty much. I'm doing
By myself. I'm not even going to share with John.
I'm eating a big-ass hot dog right now, so there.
I love hot dogs. And the more snouts and tails, the better.
I like the all-beef ones.
No, I love hot dogs.
The best hot dogs are always at baseball games. I'm sorry, hands down.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. I like on the street in New York.
Yeah, those are good too. I'll give you that. But the ones are better in Yankee Stadium.
Don't you kind of just take your life in your own hands when you're in one of those?
Well, I guess you could say that, but not really.
I mean, there's almost got to be an assumption of the risk involved, you know?
Yeah, it really depends on the builder. I mean, I felt more safe in mine than a lot of shit. I mean, but it all depends on the builder. Most of these are built in such a superior way, but then there are nightmares too. It's just, God, it just all depends, really.
When you sell one as parts, how disassembled are we talking? Like the key out of the ignition, or?
Well, no,
or
it's
more
just
disassembled than
it
that.
basically looks like an airplane, but and the parts have been, I mean, really.
They have found themselves assembled to a degree, but.
Well, or actually, what it is it is done. It is done that way for all kinds of reasons. But there is not a lot of litigation in this area of law because of, because everyone's in it together. They're not like, there's not like an outsider coming in to buy it and then crying about it. They all know it so well.
Is it a tax reason that you could sell parts without incurring a new
No.
sales
It's for
tax
liability.
obligation like a vehicle, or is it just liability alone?
Liability, because there's no transfer tax or anything like that. There's no registration. Like the registrations are $5. I mean, but you don't lie about the price. Like the price is still the price, but you just don't sell it as you don't make any kind of
as an airworthy vehicle.
Yeah. You can. I mean, there are people that do, and you just say as is, and then you require them to have an inspection before they take it.
Gotcha.
And that's another area. Inspectors, God almighty, you would think they would never inspect an airplane.
KHOW.com.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. Welcome to the show, here to help you solve problems, answer questions, take complaints. We have.
Hey, Tom, can I ask John a question?
Yes, sir.
Hey, John.
Yes, sir.
I took your advice. I went out and bought a dash cam.
Right on.
I was watching so I have a question for you. It's obvious that when I've seen these videos where somebody brake checks somebody and they hit them, that the person who brake checked them is liable. So my question is,
what a stupid thing to do too. You're trying to punish someone, so you.
No, they're trying to get an insurance
you out there
claim.
doing that, Doc?
Oh, you mean they're doing it on purpose? I thought it was like you're pissed off they're following too closely.
No, they're doing it to try and get an insurance claim. But my question is this, John: if somebody brake checks you, and then you're a responsible citizen, and you wait and let them pull up, and they keep doing it, I know you're supposed to stay X number of car lengths behind the person in front of you. But if they keep brake checking you, and let's say you go into them, are you liable because you weren't far enough away?
So you're wondering if after a certain threshold you can just go ahead and hit them? Is that right?
No. My question is, if let's say you're 3 car lengths behind, and then they keep brake checking you, are you responsible, or is it a deliberate attempt to create an insurance fraud?
Doc, it could go either way. The beauty of a webcam or a dash cam is that you're going to have a video of exactly what transpired. ultimately, if you're the guy who's claiming the other guy was at fault, you have the burden of proof, just like I said the other day. And you're going to have to prove that his negligence was greater than yours. And so, we've all heard of people that do this scoop and squat or whatever they call it, where they pull in front of you and then lock up the brakes and try to make you run into them. I don't know if that's exactly the same as a brake check. Usually a brake check involves a bit of road rage or something to where the guy is upset at you and that kind of stuff. And then, the purpose of the brake check is almost more of an assault of sorts, against the other party to make them almost have an accident. I don't think really most people that are brake checking are trying to get you to run into them. They're just trying to create
I looked it up here, and they say that most of the time they're trying to tell you to back off, but there are cases where people have tried to put in insurance claims. So it's both, really, but most of the time it's just like saying, stay off my back,
Right.
So what was your actual question, though, Doc? Are you asking, are you ever held responsible for running into someone who brake checks, really?
Yeah, that's basically my question.
The legal presumption is that you're at fault if you rear end somebody. So it's a rebuttable presumption, but to rebut it, you're going to have to prove that they were more negligent than you in the cause of that accident. That's the legal answer. You're presumed to be at fault because you ran into a car from behind, but it is a rebuttable presumption, and one of those factors is going to be your nice new video.
Okay, and speaking of that, I just got a text on this here, and it says here, what happens when you hit a cyclist at a four-way stop? They don't stop anymore. John, is that the same? I mean, you're not automatically guilty, are you?
Well, I hate that because I think bicyclists also have, they have their own responsibility to not be negligent. And I think before you blow through an intersection, even though you don't technically have a duty to stop, I think you have a duty to not create an impediment by blowing through a stop sign when there are other people that have the legal right of way. So I don't think you get to have your cake and eat it too.
Okay. 303-713.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. I mean, but unfortunately, that's a whole different bugaboo for me. And I have a really nice mountain bike or hybrid bike, and it's an e-bike. It's not a freewheeling scooter. It's not one of these big giant things you press a button and go. But it's a pedal assist if you want it. And I love riding, but I also there's just this prevailing attitude from cyclists, and it's almost like they're angry all the time. You would think you'd smile when you're out riding your bicycle. They seem to be so damn angry. I don't get it.
Yeah. I tend to default to the rule of gross tonnage, which is kind of a boating term, but the guy
who's bigger is badder and has the right of way.
He has the right of way. Exactly. It's better to be wrong and alive than right and dead, So
yeah,
I don't know. You're right. There is that kind of that mentality, and I think it comes from just so many people that drive too closely, that push them off the road, that do a lot of stuff that they really shouldn't do. So it's a two-way street. And I used to spend a lot of time on a road bike and stuff, so I've seen it all. But
I got a trivia question.
Right.
I got a trivia question. A right of way in the air, a hot air balloon is there, and it wanders off into some controlled airspace, and there's an airliner. Who has the right of way?
I would guess the hot air balloon does.
That's
because
right.
He's restricted in his maneuverability.
That's exactly right. In fact, the law reads the less maneuverable aircraft has the right of way.
Ding.
Ding, 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 ding. You should get my dinger. All right, we got more coming right up.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
New delays through the Commerce City area. I-270 westbound at Vasquez. Reports of an accident has stop and go back from I-70, seeing about 15 minutes of slow driving. To the south end of town, South Havana Street northbound, remains closed between East Mississippi Avenue and Tennessee Avenue due to an accident. Otherwise, a calm drive throughout the Denver Metro. I-25 north and southbound showing highway speeds through town. I-70 east and westbound flowing free from the foothills to DIA and back again. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, mostly sunny skies. It's a high of 98 this afternoon. Another hot one out there. Overnight low of 66. Tomorrow, clouds rolling in with thunderstorms, high 93. The current temperature in Denver is 89 degrees. With your impact traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. At Blindster, we offer custom-made faux wood and real wood blinds and shutters, cellular shades, Roman shades, bamboo shades, exterior shades, and more, all at factory direct prices. Don't pay too much for new blinds. Go to Blindster.com.
Okay, and for solar, you want to go to Red Rocks Roof and Solar. Red Rocks does 40% tax credits because all of their materials are made right here in the U.S. They also can help you with loans, and they can help you with other aspects, including installation and service. In fact, if you didn't even buy the system from them and you need service, they do that too. They're great people. When it comes to solar, call what I call the solar authorities, Red Rocks Roof and Solar. And for commercial systems, they can show you how to get it 100% paid for. 303-704-2449. TheArtOfGranite.com. I love The Art of Granite because Mitch loves giving prices on the phone. Man, when companies do that, you know they're proud of their pricing. And they want to do an open, honest business with you, whether it be granite, quartz, quartzite, marble, any material. In fact, they charge wholesale on all materials, and you only pay a markup for fabrication and installation. That's it. Now, here's the deal. They tear out and haul away free as well, and they give you prices on the phone. And if you get the materials from their remnant yard, the materials are free. Call them, theartofgranite.com. Get your price right now, 303-386-5919.
Well, what happened after 2 years? That's a long dating.
I dated another.
I got a
after
trivia
that broke up,
question.
I did another.
Did it broke up?
Yeah, I dated another girl for almost 5 years.
How many women can Doc
Being
date at one
exclusive?
time?
What?
Yeah.
Did you do an exclusive?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm putting it. Are you on YouTube?
never-
Who looks more dead,
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Keith
It's not
Richards
fair to either
or
one.
Joe Biden?
Oh.
But there were just certain things we couldn't get.
Doesn't
over.
Biden have that
And
corpse look?
We had a lot in common.
He really does.
Honest
Of
to
course,
God,
there's a lot of makeup
how
on.
does that skin get so stretched
things
and
that-
transparent? That's what I want to know.
Just impossible.
I don't know.
to,
They've been blaming him.
reconcile.
They've been accusing him of spray
No.
tan lately. So I think they're just trying to put
That's
some
easy
light
to get
color.
over. I mean,
Finance?
The,
no, it was
the
just
lack of
personality
blinking
stuff.
is what just is freaky
Okay,
to
one
me.
of the things was
Yeah.
it's hard to have a relationship when you're not.
Poor guy.
spending
You know what?
evenings or the nights
He
together.
kind of gives hope
And
to
she
the
was
older
still working
people,
when I
right?
retired. So it would
Well,
piss her off that I didn't have to get
I
up
guess.
at 7 o'clock in the morning, and she did.
She didn't like that?
What?
I would think that'd be nothing.
Well,
She didn't like that?
no, and then so she would only stay over on Friday or Saturday night
So you could sleep in.
because we could sleep in.
She
She'd have
could
to
sleep in.
go to work on Sunday, but the rest it was hard to stay together. That's just one of the things, and there were a couple of personality things that we just couldn't resolve.
Did she golf?
Oh, she was an avid golfer. That was
That's
that was.
Is he talking about all his exploits?
Yes, indeed.
I think it's impressive he has a human woman.
I know, but
I thought he had
Yeah.
he had
just
to give
brings
up
up
dating
things you
because
don't
of his
wanna-
latex allergy.
Women I've dated.
there's just things about
get
this
it?
whole
Oh, okay, good.
story. Yeah, I get it. I get it. That you just don't want to picture, you know?
Oh God.
Specific about what I was looking for.
You got to remember.
And the one
Be
that I was
respectful, Doc.
Thought I was
Gotta be the conversation,
Be respectful,
I really thought I
Doc.
might marry her.
Really?
God Almighty.
That's pretty
I'm going to get canceled
But,
and I didn't do anything.
Didn't work out.
Chasing all those
And the 5-year one,
late
we
60-year-old honeys around, you know?
just sort of went along because we had so much in common. We tried to ignore the things that we didn't have in common, and it just didn't work.
Ain't that how love is sometimes, you know?
You tried to ignore it for 5 years now.
Hey, Tom,
Yes.
you still have Joe on.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Jesus, God, I know.
Okay.
I know, but and I feel, look, he's the one that missed the
Part of it
slot.
was she
I will
didn't
get
like
him on.
the,
I promise.
New York attitude.
I'll get him on. How much time when I get back?
Oh, okay. I could get that.
You got like 2 minutes, maybe, or 3 minutes.
All
something
right,
like that,
I'm going to
3.5.
go to him.
They're a little edgy.
Well, we have, we look at things in a different way. She was from Minnesota, and she moved here when she was in college.
Yeah.
And of course, so we.
The Medal of Honor is the highest military decoration in the United States. Since it was established in 1861, there have been 3,517 people awarded with the medal. I'm Malcolm Gladwell, and our new podcast from Pushkin Industries and iHeartMedia is about those heroes. Listen to Medal of Honor, Stories of Courage on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Medal of Honor, Stories of Courage.
Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hey, I want to talk to Joseph Piano. I got a question here, Joe. Somebody texted me and said they have a 401k, but they're still working, okay? They're over 59 and a half, so they're like in their 60s. But they want to know, they heard about an in-service rollover, so they want to know, can they continue working and keep the 401k, but at least put some of it into an annuity for the future?
That is right, Tom. That's exactly what it's called, in-service transfer. And as long as you're 59 and a half, you will be able to take money out of the 401k and put it into safety with our annuity.
And there's no penalty, right? No tax event.
Penalties at all. In fact, some people take the entire amount of their 401k. They don't have to close the 401k. They can continue to work, and the employer will actually match the contributions that the employee is making. So they can actually take a portion of it, or they can take the full amount out of the 401k as long as they're over 59 and a half. I don't care if they're working. They can do that.
Now, there was something that came up yesterday I wanted to ask you real quick. We always talk about rolling over a lump sum you might have in a retirement account. But let's say you save some money, okay? And you got money in the bank. I mean, there's nothing to prevent you from converting some of that money. Again, you don't always put all your eggs in one basket, but you can take a lump sum of some of your money and do an annuity and get tax deferrals, right?
Absolutely. That's what they call a non-qualified annuity. Non-qualified means that the money that you're putting into the annuity has already been taxed previously with a savings account, investment accounts, brokerage accounts, whatever that is. Not an IRA, not a 401k. That's qualified account.
So when you pull it out, you don't pay tax on the full amount then?
That is right. They're not going to tax you on the money that you already paid taxes on. That's the beauty of non-qualified annuities.
Now, is that done automatically, Joe? So if you have a non-qualified, and you start taking income, who figures out the tax owed on that?
The company that has the annuity will figure that out.
And then you'll automatically only pay tax on the amount of gain.
On the gain. That is correct, Tom. That's absolutely correct. And a lot of people have both. They have a qualified annuity and they have a non-qualified annuity. So they can actually, something else real quickly, the non-qualified annuity doesn't have any mandates like the RMDs that require a minimum distribution.
Exactly.
They don't have to do that. It's a totally almost like a beautiful...
All right, let me give out your number, 303-779-6600. Appreciate that, Joe. 779-6600, mymoneymyway.com. And by the way, call us now, get on the show, get help, information, referrals, 303-MARTINO. Leave a message if we're not there in the evenings, and we'll get back to you, 303-MARTINO.
Finally, a plumbing and HVAC company with great service and the lowest price.
And Thailand is also like that. Some of the Thai women are really pretty. Yeah. But that's a
here we
big sex
go.
tourist thing. Yeah. In Bangkok.
You know the old
You
saying,
hire-
Doc.
What?
You know the old saying. You haven't. What is it? You haven't lived until you got your dick sucked in Bangkok, or your cock sucked in Bangkok. Yeah.
Well,
I've been there actually once. Had to go. My father was over there on a trip, and he had a stroke in Bangkok. Wow. My wife and I had to fly over there and get him. She said it was a fucking nightmare. People were very nice.
Well, it's no fun if you go with your wife.
I'm stepping away.
No, is there on a mission? Chopper's gonna get mad at us for all our hot mic. Going to call my case here.
What?
So I'm gonna call this dishwasher case I'm working on.
Sorry I missed your call. Please leave me a message, and I'll call you back as soon as I can.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording...
Hi, Carolyn. This is Bo from the Troubleshooter Show. I'm calling to see if you heard from Bosch regarding a refund, or I believe we're looking for a credit on your Bosch.
Okay, I'm back.
That you purchased from Lowe's. I did send another email to the media relations. I think his name is Andrew. I don't have an email, but I asked if for another update, and I gave him your number again. And it sounded like to me that they were going to reach out to you and try to get a resolution to this dishwasher case. So if they did reach out, could you call me at 720-633-3000? Okay, thank you. Bye.
Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Need a new roof? Call Excel Roofing, 303-761-6400.
Denver's talk station has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Cash. That's cash. Enter it now at khow.com. Inflation salvation on 630 KHOW.
Yeah. Ripped off. Bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hey, I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Welcome. What's going on in your life? If you need help with a consumer problem, don't wait. Get it done as soon as possible and get a call to us. And we'll try to work on it and do what we can to solve your problems. And some of the problems that have been coming up lately, very interesting. First of all, we have John Fuller with us. People have had some questions on personal injury, one including an aircraft accident with an instructor. Can an instructor be held responsible? Almost anyone can be held responsible for anything if the evidence shows, but that doesn't count as much as where do you get paid? You know, so many people overlook that, even with malpractice. Yep. Even if you prove malpractice, sometimes what are the damages? And John, with malpractice, and I don't mean to pick on malpractice because there have been giant lawsuits for malpractice around the country, but one of the things that I find, and again, you know, the last thing in the world people want to do is try to instruct people on how they're not going to get what they think. In other words, when people call me on the show about any kind of a problem, I hate telling them, well, you know, there's not much we can do for you. But let's talk about malpractice in that regard. For example, there are people who went through excruciating pain and, they left something in me. And then they corrected it immediately, okay? I know that sounds horrific, but it happens. And it's ridiculous. So they, imaging showed something was in them. That image horrified the person. And then you hear, they shoulda.
Almost died. Almost,
exactly. Or almost paralyzed for life. I've heard this. But then they corrected it, and they corrected it immediately, and they corrected it without further harm and without further cost. As crazy as you might not, as crazy it might seem to you, there may not be enough damages to go after.
They went and messed up your perfectly good case. Can you believe that?
Mm-hmm. And really, John.
I mean, you
go ahead.
You bring up a great point. I mean, you know, and we laugh about it and we make jokes and, you had a perfectly good case up until you survived and all that stuff. But it's not a laughing matter. I mean, people get hurt all the time by doctors. But here's the reality. Doctors are people just like anybody else. And sometimes they make mistakes. Those mistakes are called malpractice. But sometimes we just have bad outcomes, even despite the very best, the practices getting employed. Sometimes things just happen and you end up with a bad outcome. And I mean, I've probably done 1,000 intakes for medical malpractice. I began my career in a med mal firm. And I bet 95 or so % of the cases that we would get to call in were just bad outcomes. Just something didn't go the way it was supposed to. And only when you have an actual mistake that is coupled with real life damages that were caused by that mistake are you in the realm of medical malpractice.
And John, don't you think a lot of it...
And that comes as a shock to people.
Don't you think a lot of it is communication, both before and after? I mean, when we go over surgery, you try to be as honest as you can about what the possible bad outcomes might be. And then if some of that happens, talking to the patient, explaining why it happened and what the remedy is, really takes away a lot of the anger that patients have.
Yeah. Well, I think you bring up a great point. But again, any bad outcome is going to be looked at with a jaded eye, because people think that, anything less than the best outcome must be the result of some mistake. And they have a really hard time accepting the fact that sometimes bad things just happen, even despite the best and the most appropriate efforts by the good doctor.
But there are things that we tell people that are known complications.
Sure.
And let me give you an
you
example.
sign a whole big form that says the same thing, listing out 500 different things that could go bad. But people just sign those and think, it's for other people, that's not for me.
Right.
Got it.
Until it happens to you.
Okay, so here's the deal. It's the kind of thing that if you have permanent damage, but temporary discomfort doesn't rise to the level. And we had one case where an infant baby, oh my God, was given some drops, of medicine. And horrific mistake was made. She never gave the drops to her baby. I don't forget. Oh God, it was so long ago. I forget how it was discovered.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
It was was it nitro or something for heart, or it would have killed her baby instantly.
It would have killed the child instantly.
But it didn't.
I remember now.
It didn't.
But it didn't.
And John, this person was so upset she wanted to sue. And I said, but how do you explain? Okay, but what are you suing for? Can you sue? I guess I'm going to ask, can you sue for being scared? Can you ever sue for being scared? Or what could have happened? I don't know. I mean, I guess you could sue, right? But
why? In a vacuum, yes. I mean, emotional distress is a real, and it certainly can follow some really egregious behavior. But I recall that particular call. I think you guys brought me in on it, and despite telling this lady that, look, I mean, good on you. You discovered it. You didn't give it to your child.
Oh.
If you had given it to your child, yes, but thank God you didn't, and your child's okay, and you discovered it. So your damages are very, very small compared to what might have been if if you had given that to your child. And thank goodness that you didn't.
That's right. That's exactly
It's a hard concept for people to get so mad about what might have been, that it's very difficult for them to sometimes step back and go, wait a minute, thank God what might have been didn't happen. I mean, I could make a Kamala joke here about the things that were, that aren't, that were, that was, but
the word salad.
But exactly. But thank God they didn't happen, and as a result, you don't have any damages to sue about.
Okay, so on this, I have another question here. Let me see. I'm going to this text. By the way, I'm accepting texts on a personal Google number I've had for years, and I've opened it up to the public now, 24/7, and I will use it on the show, and you can reach me. It's 747-999-5280. Anyway, here's bottom line. My ex-roommate left a car in my garage. It is not roadworthy, but they have not gotten it out of my garage. Okay, so what can I do if this vehicle is all but abandoned? Well, that's the whole point. Is it abandoned? John, we get this a lot with different things, but let me ask you, what would you do? If you had a roommate or somebody and they left a car behind, what would you do? I'm assuming they're the owner of the property, the person who's writing me. So what would you do? I mean, you have a car there. You know, I always say common sense, but I don't know. If this person has it towed away or to a junkyard, an impound or whatever, I don't know. Do you sneak it out in the middle of the night so it gets towed off the street? What do you do?
Well, I think you would start by giving notice to the actual owner, sending certified letters that I'm going to get rid of this piece of property if you don't come and secure it. I mean, you've got kind of a notice problem, and I don't know that the law imposes that, but I certainly think to cut off at the pass any attempts to suggest that you owe them for their property once you've gotten rid of it, put them on notice that you're going to get rid of it. And then that's a crazy idea that they could just leave it and you somehow become responsible.
Yeah, so anyway, if you truly had abandoned property, again, if you can show you tried to contact them and they never got back to you, I would get rid of it. You might even want to sell it and something like that, because then you can prove the actual value on the open market. And then another thing, the worst case scenario is maybe pay them what you've collected minus maybe storage. I don't know. But
you could probably sue them for some sort of a storage fee that was an implied fee of leaving it in your garage that you're having to pay rent on, and get a judgment and then technically foreclose against them. I mean, you could end up taking ownership of that vehicle, but it would be a long path to get there. But I could see that happening.
Yeah. 303-713-8255. More right after this.
You have to check out the new line of flooring that SimplyFloorsInc.com has. It's called Proximity Mills. Whether you're looking for luxury vinyl planks, hardwood, carpet, tile, they have it all, including scratch resistant, waterproof. You need to go to SimplyFloorsInc.com. They have a showroom up north. They have a showroom south that's brand new. They have in-home shopping. They have color experts to help you choose product. Impeccable service, great pricing. SimplyFloorsInc.com. That's SimplyFloorsInc.com.
Hey, Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies is a place to call, to consult with, and to possibly hire to help you plan for retirement. It's the earlier the better, of course, but so many people reach them in their 50s and 60s and haven't done much planning. Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies helps you shore up whatever nest egg you have, keep it safe, keep some of it growing, and maybe convert some of it to income. They also help you with other investments and other areas of retirement, like maybe long-term care, estate planning, and things like that. They have a whole host of experts they work with off our referral list, and they can work with you. If you need help, Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies would be happy to speak to you with no obligation whatsoever. To find out what they can do, ask them all the questions you want at rpcenter.com. That's the website, rpcenter.com, 970-663-3211, 970-663-3211. You know, the Art of Granite has spectacular deals on countertops and islands and, bar tops, whatever you want, counters. And here's what they do. They fabricate and install it, and that's what you pay for. They pass the wholesale price of materials on to you, and they tear out and haul away for you. But they also do something else. If you can find what you need in their remnant yard, beautiful, not seconds, just leftover pieces, some big enough to do a small kitchen or an island or something, they'll give you that material free of charge. theartofgranite.com. Always call to get prices first. That's how confident they are. theartofgranite.com, 303-386-5919.
pretty slow today, Doc.
What?
It's pretty slow today.
Yeah, usually when John's around, we get a lot of calls who just want free legal information.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe we should just branch it out, and you can give like dating advice there, Doc. You know.
I wonder if Netanyahu went to the White House this afternoon to meet with Biden. I wonder if Biden really knew who the guy was.
Probably not.
God, he was just sitting there, and he was kind of looking the other way when Netanyahu was talking to him. I'd like to know who finally made him quit, because that old bastard wasn't going to
Did what?
I'd like to know who finally pushed him to quit.
Oh, I'm sure
Because it wasn't Joe.
it was a combination of everything.
Limited 2x miles on every purchase. Plus, earn unlimited 5x miles on hotels and rental cars booked through Capital One Travel. Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This hour from the Trajan Wealth K-House Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. It's amazing to me how many emails I get about cars and how many questions. Now, when I say I get questions, some of them come directly to me on text. Others come through email through help@troubleshooter.com. That's an email address. I also get them through Nextdoor. I get them through YouTube and Facebook, and I get them through even LinkedIn, Instagram, and things like that. So really, there's a number of places where I get inquiries. But, okay, listen to this question. I mean, I don't want to make fun of questions. Every question I say is a good question, right? But here's the question from James. Do you stay firm on the price when selling a car? Now, I don't know if they mean do I or should you, but it all depends. I believe the marketplace is the most accurate place to get pricing on anything, because if it is worth it, it will sell. It's that simple. If there's enough demand and you ask a price, it will sell. If it will not sell for that price, you can only do so much to convince people to pay it. In fact, most of the time, you don't convince people of anything. People convince themselves to buy it. Although a good salesperson can, but that goes that's a whole different topic. If you're selling something on a one-up thing, you're not a professional. You're not going to talk people into anything, okay? So, bottom line, you stay firm only if you are confident you're going to get the price. And then, what about buying a car online? Now, I'm getting a lot of car questions, in fact, and I can't save them all for Car Day because there's too many, but it says buying a car online outweighs the longer wait times for delivery. Does the convenience outweigh the longer wait times? Would you buy online? Of course I would. I mean, nowadays, buying online is exactly the same as buying anywhere else, as long as you're dealing with licensed dealers. If you're dealing with individuals, online or in person, you can get ripped off with either, but online there's more of a chance of getting ripped off. I can't tell you how many times people have bought a car sight unseen, online from a private owner, through Facebook or through somewhere, sent payment, got the car, and it was nothing like represented. John, in a situation like that, sure, you can probably go back through correspondence and prove someone lied to you or cheated you, but then what do you do about it? What do you do? I mean, what's the practicality? You've already taken the car. You've already taken delivery. So I like online car buying, by the way. I've purchased the last 3 cars I had online, but they were from licensed dealers. John, how do you purchase?
I have done the same thing.
Yeah. Now,
yeah,
I'd like to tell you I go to a
really-
dealer and haggle, but I don't.
Yeah, so I generally don't buy too many brand new vehicles. So a lot of mine tend to be, direct buys with owners and stuff like that. But, I have bought a couple vehicles off of eBay Motors, I think, or online like that. Yeah.
Now, by the way, the reason I am reading these is because I've had them for so long, and on car day sometimes you can just do so many car questions. We have so many calls on cars, so I don't always get to them. But if you've written one of these questions, I hope I'm answering them for you. But like this one. And again, I piled up more car questions than others because, as I said, I save them for car day and don't always get to them, okay? Other questions I can get to like during the week, but I kind of save cars and I shouldn't. They were piling up. How would you answer this one? It says, what are some hidden costs to consider when buying a car? Well, there are a lot of them, but they're not hidden, okay? But I think the biggest problem is with the F&I department. That stands for finance and insurance, okay? Their job is to sell you products on top of the car. That's their entire job. Some of these products are physical products, like things for the car, like coats and they used to be like, pinstriping. Now they do paint protection.
And protection packages, Tom.
Yeah, they call them mop
big
and
one.
glow. Yeah. Or some of them are like...
Choke and croak.
Yeah, just crazy stuff. I'll tell you, almost everything they sell you at a car dealership in the F&I department. In fact, almost everything they sell you is useless. Or you don't need, or you can buy cheaper. One of those 3. Useless, you don't need, well, that would be the same as useless. You can buy cheaper elsewhere, including the insurances. Never buy insurance at the dealer, ever. Okay, never. Not credit life, not disability, not anything like that. You can always buy that cheaper. Always buy it cheaper if you want it. The next thing, the extended warranties. Never, ever, 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 ever. I'm not talking about prepaid maintenance. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you have to keep going back to that dealer, consider that. But if you can go to any franchise dealer, prepaid maintenance packages are the only thing they sell that I think are great deals. Now, there are some other things you may want to consider. And I personally learned a lesson here. I didn't realize that new expensive wheels on a car, these aluminum or whatever they call them, these, you know what I mean, these wonderful, beautiful, fancy looking wheels. They're not hubcaps, they're wheels. They're a magnet for damage. Go up sometime when you're in a parking lot and look at the wheels of these fancy cars. Almost every single one of them is chewed up, or they have abrasions or scratches or something. It's almost like you can't not do it. I mean, okay. So this one guy asked me when I was buying this one car, $1,400, he said, and it'll cover your wheels for the life of the car. Not just one claim, it'll cover it. It never goes up. You pay one time $1,400, and it covers your wheels. I think maybe there was a $100 deductible. And I'm thinking, it either replaces or repairs. And I say, I'm not paying $1,400 to cover a wheel or wheels. Not 3 weeks after taking delivery of that dang thing, I get that. I don't want to talk about it, but I scuffed 2 on the left side. And one of them could be buffed and fixed. That was $600. The other one had to be replaced, $1,800. And I thought, oh my God. So naturally I called a dealer and said, hey, you know that protection I bought? No, I'm just kidding, I didn't. But anyway, I bought it from then on out. And it's the most used thing I ever do. That's the one thing because you can't just go to your insurance company and buy protection for your wheels. To me, you will never not use it, unfortunately. John, are your wheels perfect? Come on, I defy anyone on YouTube or anywhere. Go on, morons. Tell me about your wheels. Tell me you don't have any kind of problems on your wheels. Go ahead.
I have one trailer that has really nice wheels on it, and I dinged them up.
Yes!
I admit it.
There's something about them. It's like they just, I don't know. Anyway, so I would buy that. Don't ever buy windshield protection. So a friend of mine buys windshield protection. You pay $4,500 or $2,500, whatever you pay. Over the life of the car, it's financed or whatever, and it replaces all your windshields, right? Oh, bull! If you look closely, it's not $4,500, but whatever it was, you get up to $4,500 or $5,000 in coverage, meaning, so you replace 3 windshields on some of them, 2 windshields, you're done. But they charge you this ridiculous amount, and then I call Compass Insurance. He says, Tom, you're paying an extra $10 or $15 a year for zero deductible glass protection.
Right. If people knew how much profit the dealers make off of all that different coverage, they would never buy any of that because most of it is available, elsewhere. But the dealer's making at least 50% of that premium is staying with the dealer as just profit.
Right. That's right. Now, again, go ahead, John.
On my new car, I was just looking at the purchase sheet.
Yeah.
There were 10 additional options that the P&I guy offered me, from extended coverage to windshield protection to ceramic finish protection to Gap product. All these things that is what they try and make their profit on.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, I have no problem if they want to try to sell people that stuff. I've seen car deals where the extras on a car that started out at around $45,000 to $50,000 were $18,000.
Holy moly.
No, I'm not kidding. In fact, if anyone has purchased a car recently and you're listening to this in a podcast or on a delayed stream or whatever, if you have purchased a car, I would like to know the add-ons you bought. Now, I'd like to believe a lot of my listeners don't have a lot of add-ons. And not all add-ons are bad. Like I told you, there's nothing wrong, I think, with prepaid maintenance. You get what you pay. In fact, you save money. There's no doubt. John, did you ever look at prepaid maintenance?
No, but I was going to say, I really do think for a lot of people, gap insurance is a good coverage.
Well,
and there's some caveats to it, and those need to be explained. But the reality is, when you roll off the showroom floor, even if you don't buy anything else,
but
you owe more than that car is worth that moment.
Okay, but most of the time, John, most of the gap is not something that's covered by the policy. Most of the gap comes from negative equity, from previous deals, or paying too much for a car. They absolutely will not pay for that. If you were stupid in buying a car, it doesn't cover stupidity. It does cover.
If you're a year into it and your loan balance has gotten down a little bit, we've never had gap not pay when somebody's had a totaled vehicle and the fair market value of the total loss is less than they owe. We have never had gap not pay that difference for my clients.
No, here's what I was going to say. In most cases, gap doesn't cover the gap. In the areas it does cover, there are certain times, if you mapped out a loan, there are certain time periods that it will cover you, like within 2 weeks or 3 weeks of a car. I don't mean it's written that way. I mean where it's mathematically where they cover. Because like you said, John, when you drive off, so for a few weeks you're really vulnerable. Then for another, for a year or so you're not. Then afterwards you are. It depends on what cycle you're in on that loan as to what your gap does. Your gap is most in the beginning and then diminishes and then goes back up again toward the end if you have a long loan. But the point I'm making is this. Even if you buy gap, John, don't buy it at the dealer.
Well, maybe, but your example kind of presupposes that your gap could be a lot higher. I mean, my circumstances are when my clients, admittedly sometimes owe a crap ton more than the car is worth, but after you deduct the fair market value from it, the amount that gap is being asked to pay is quite a bit lower than the actual value of the car.
Right. No, I understand.
Never had a situation where they haven't paid. Well, it's been a lifesaver for some of my clients, and for the people that don't have it, the flip side of it is you've got a big pile of negative equity and you don't have a car, and you've got to figure out something to do. And if you don't have that money, you got to go roll that into a new vehicle.
Okay, but if you're going to buy, I'm still going to say this. If you're going to buy gap, don't buy it at a dealer. Buy it from your insurance people. And
but you got to finance it. That's why people put it on at the dealership, because they don't have the money to go and buy that for cash at your insurance agency or whoever. Get people,
Well, you pay it in a premium. You pay it in a premium. You're financing it. I mean, I want to talk to Compass about that. I don't think you pay a lump sum for gap, but can you get Compass on after the break? I would like to ask him about that. Yes. I'm not arguing. Listen, what I'm saying is this.
It's not a lump sum, but it's even if you're paying it over 6 months,
let's find out.
It's going to be that the person is paying it over 60 months or 72 or 100,000 months or whatever they finance cars for these days.
Yeah,
versus paying it off in a 6 month
John, okay,
premium.
First of all, we're also going to assume that if you buy it at a dealer and it's a 5-year gap, you're going to get money back when you sell it or trade it in, and you're not. You're not going to get a rebate. And the other thing is all I'm saying is this: it doesn't cover you it covers you 100% of the time, but you're not in gap 100% of the time over the life of a loan. And again, people, the gap it covers that John's talking about is the gap in value versus a normal loan. They will not go more ever than 125% of value. So you got to be careful. Not 125% of what you paid. It's 125% of value. And people find that even with gap, if this is the wrong kind of gap, it won't be covered. I'm not telling you not to get it. What I'm telling you are two things. It very seldom covers. When it does cover the gap John's talking about, buy it from a regular insurance dealer. But let's find out. I got to take this break. People are pissed at me. We got more coming right up.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino now. Dan Kaplis today at 4, 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Starting to get busy out there on the roads and freeways for the noon hour. I-25 north and southbound. No major complaints for our downtown drivers. You are going to see some slow traffic between Alameda and Colfax on I-25 northbound. Southbound I-25 slow between I-70 and Spear Boulevard. Just northeast of there through Commerce City, I-270 westbound. A crash reported at Vasquez has slow traffic back from Northfield and Quebec. Seeing about 5 minutes of delays there. On the south end of town, South Havana Street northbound closed between East Mississippi Avenue and Tennessee Avenue due to an accident. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, mostly sunny skies, another hot one today, high 98. The current temperature in Denver is 93 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Yeah, and let's talk about a situation where you want to save money on AC. I was just talking to Deputy Doc about getting this whole house fan for his place. And in my opinion, it's one of the smartest purchases I ever made. Now, frankly, the reason I made the purchase is I was looking into this, and he was going to advertise. And so I said, I'll buy it. And I bought it. And then he became an advertiser. Now, I am happy I met him because then I put it in a second house. And the QC whole house fan, quiet, cool whole house fan, does exactly what it says. It destratifies the air. It makes the air more even. The temperature's more even, so your air conditioner works more efficiently. That's the secret. But it also does something else. In some cases, mornings and evenings, it takes the place of air conditioning. And in other times, it just helps cool down the house quicker. If like you're out all day and you come home and your house is really hot, 10 minutes, it's cooled down, then your air works less. QCcolorado.com. Honest to God, I'm a satisfied customer, and I'll just sing their praises. 303-800-3419.
I'm here with Sean O'Keefe and Dan Blair, Chief.
Trying to follow up to get a resolution to it. And we're not on the air.
Just send us the email, and then I'll touch base with my management to go forward, okay?
All right. Okay, I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I hate emailing, Doc.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Oh, if you can hear me, all I hear is static. Please call me right back.
I'll be back in 2 seconds.
All right. Can you get Compass on?
Yep, I'm doing
Thanks.
it right now.
Thanks.
Good afternoon. Tom Martino Show, please hold. I'm good. How are you? Wonderful. So we're going to talk about gap insurance. So just hang on for me, and we'll get to you right after the break, okay? All right. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for calling the Tom Martino Show. How can I help you?
Is a no-brainer.
Here's owner Jim Williams.
This offer is limited, so call me at 844-317-4466. That's 844-31-RHINO or rhinoshieldco.com.
Go Rhino Shield.
Need a new roof? Call Excel Roofing, 303-761-6400.
630 KHAL, an iHeartRadio station.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Brian Burns is with us from Compass Insurance Group. Brian, we're having a discussion about buying gap insurance at a car dealer, and I said, look, gap insurance doesn't cover stupidity. There's a lot of things it doesn't cover. But mind you, there are probably times when it's not a bad idea. It's not going to cover all situations, but when it does cover, it can be a pretty good help. But if I said, if you're going to buy it from an insurance broker, I'm sure you'll get it cheaper than you would at a dealer. John mentioned something. He said, well, the reason people buy it at a dealer is they can finance it. And again, there's pros and cons there. You can finance it over 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, whatever your loan is, but you don't get rebates if you sell your car. It's paid for and it's done. But I want to know, when you buy gap insurance, Brian, I don't even know if I have it or whatever, or how it works with insurance. Do you quote it for everyone, or how does gap work with you guys?
No. We'll offer it on a brand new purchase. Really, as you can imagine, the lease gap or loan gap, usually leases have it included in their lease payment, so it's not even really, it's kind of a moot point anymore. It's almost always in a lease, I see at least. But a loan, if someone's putting a decent down payment on it, it makes no sense because it's really there. You've already paid down the loan. So it's only when someone is financing it almost at 100% do you have that conversation. So we ask about it, but I will say, to the point of people being able to finance it, I don't think people realize how cheap it is. It's not an expensive coverage. So we're not talking about adding on a bunch of monthly expense onto your premium.
And it's not a lump sum. You don't have to pay a lump sum for the life of the car.
No. It's per policy. It's per policy term. And that's the other advantage is maybe you need it for the first couple of years until you paid down your loan enough where if you had a loss, the value of the car now exceeds the loan amount. And so whereas if you get it from a dealership, you're just getting a set amount that you're paying over the life of that loan. When you do it through insurance, you can cancel it. You could remove it at renewal after 6 months, after 12 months, after however long you need.
That's a really good point. But how much is it?
Let's say $10 a month, I would say, is an average amount.
John, what about that, bro? That is pretty damn good.
Hey, does Fred Loya offer that?
I don't know that, John. That's a good question.
Now, I would say...
all I'm saying is, listen, there are savvy purchasers, and there are things in life that you can always buy better from somewhere else for cheaper and more advantageous terms. That's not why the finance and insurance departments exist at dealerships.
Yeah.
They exist to make money. And everything they can roll in, whether it's croak and choke or underspray or overspray or bug film or window tint or window serial number registration or whatever the heck you can think of to add on, there's two components to it. Number one, the dealers make a lot of profit on it. And number two, the finance companies make a lot of profit on it too, because they're financing these ridiculously overpriced amounts over the life of the loan.
Let me get this. Compass Insurance, home of course, the free insurance checkup, 303-996-9000. Make sure you're not overinsured, underinsured, paying too much. That's 303-996-9000.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Starting to get busy out there on the roads and freeways for the noon hour. I-25 north and southbound. No major complaints for our downtown drivers. You are going to see some slow traffic between Alameda and Colfax on I-25 northbound. Southbound I-25 slow between I-70 and Spear Boulevard. Just northeast of there through Commerce City, I-270 westbound. A crash reported at Vasquez. Has slow traffic back from Northfield and Quebec. Seeing about 5 minutes of delays there. On the south end of town, south of Anna Street northbound. southbound closed between East Mississippi Avenue and Tennessee Avenue due to an accident. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, mostly sunny skies, another hot one today, high 98. The current temperature in Denver is 93 degrees. With your impact traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Hey, Red Rock's Roof and Solar will get you up and running with a solar system with a guaranteed activation date. What does that mean? That means that they have an activation date when your system will be up and running, and they guarantee it. And otherwise, there are penalties in your favor. So think about that. The only people that do that. They also can help you with commercial systems. If you're in a commercial building or you have a business of some kind, you can get some grants to get this solar system paid for. In some cases, you might even be agricultural where you actually live there and get the benefits of this. Find out more from redrocksrs.com. They're great people working with consumers to get them solar the right way. 303-704-2449. Joe Lazara is a criminal defense attorney. I hope you never need him. And I say that because I really mean it. But, you know, people make mistakes. They do stupid things. They're accused of crimes, especially DUIs, or smoking weed now has become almost as popular as drinking. Now, people miscalculate. They get a ticket. I don't want to underplay it, okay, folks? But no matter what the situation is, if this happens to you, you can't really go through this system on your own. You need an attorney to help you. And I recommend Joe Lazara. He'll give you a flat rate price up front, and that's what it will be. Free consultations always. 303-429-6200, 429-6200. Lazara Legal. Find him at referralist.com. I can't say enough about ZeroResDenver.com. ZeroRes is, God, I just love them. Okay, what do I love about ZeroRes? I'll tell you what I love. I love the fact that ZeroRes has a healthy way of cleaning your carpets. A healthy way. And when I say healthy, I mean it. In fact, what they do is they think that they think that anything other than ZeroRes is unhealthy, and I'll tell you why. When they clean a carpet that's been cleaned before, all of that dirt and crap from previous cleanings come out. Now your carpets are really clean, ZeroResified, and when that happens, you will notice the difference. Your carpets will smell and feel, and the whole thing feels better and smells better. Your whole indoor air quality is better. Safe for kids, safe for pets. Your carpets look like new. Get ZeroResified. 303-471-5150. 3 rooms now for $109 plus $75 off duct cleaning. They do ducts and they do any flat surface in your home, tile and grout. ZeroResDenver.com.
The doctor's office that mixed up your files has your Social Security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info and last 3 addresses. Your info is in endless places that could accidentally expose your info.
That's fantastic.
That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code PLAY at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Mandy Call here with the legal minute from my friends at Bell & Pollock. Listen for more great advice on the
You are lying.
Injury Show, Saturdays at 10 on KOA.
Hi, I'm Jerry
Okay.
Bell, the law firm of Bell & Pollock. We are injury attorneys, and this is your legal minute.
Love it.
Let's talk about myths. Let's talk about myths in this business. You've been rear-ended. You've been injured. One myth is you think, surely there's insurance. Surely that's what insurance is for. Some insurance companies are going to pay me. That's a myth. They're going to fight you. This is going to be a war. You need a strategy and a legal game plan to win the war. You can have a strategy and legal game plan at Bell & Pollock. Our website, championsofthepeople.com. We wrote a book entitled Legal Game Plan. Why? Because insurance companies have strategies against you. You need your own strategy or strategies to beat them and to win the war. But you can win the war. Bell & Pollock, championsofthepeople.com will help you.
Get more information or help from Bell & Pollock at championsofthepeople.com.
Paid for by government. Did you hear? A secret hoard of 1904 $20 gold Liberty coins have been found. These gorgeous 1904 P gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you can own a piece of the whole. When you call, you are guaranteed a 1904 Gold Liberty struck at the iconic Philadelphia Mint. With limited availability, you must call now. These 1904 dated gold coins are still in uncirculated condition with brilliant luster. That is 120 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-973-3083. Call now, and you'll receive a free bonus, a $75 value free with every order. Call 1-800-973-3083 now to secure your 1904P $20 Gold Liberty coins before they sell out. That's 1-800-973-3083.
Medal of Honor is the highest military decoration in the United States. Since it was established in 1861, there have been 3,517 people awarded with the medal. I'm Malcolm Gladwell, and our new podcast from Wishton Industries and iHeartMedia is about those heroes. Listen to Medal of Honor, Stories of Courage. America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Medal of Honor, Stories of Courage.
Weekdays 2 to 4, it's Ryan Schuling.
It was a brief address to the nation, but did Joe Biden answer any questions about dropping out of the race? And comedian Leslie Liao joins me to preview her upcoming weekend shows at Comedy Works Downtown. Tune in at 2 here on 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. We have another hour to go after this one, and we want you to call with any problems, questions, or complaints. The important thing is, at the first sign of trouble, give us a call. If you paid somebody, they didn't do the work, they're promising you, they keep delaying, or maybe you're wondering about your hail damage, don't get ripped off there, and anything else on your mind, we'd love to help you with. There are many class action lawsuits going on right now, probably more than in history, honest to God. There are 18 open claims people can claim. We'll go over some of those coming up in the next hour. And anything on your mind. Don't forget, you can also call 303-MARTINO, and you can call that number 24/7 and get in line for the next show, 303-627-8466. Plumbing, heating. Okay.
Well, Doc, I think I'm going to leave about 1:15.
What?
I think I'm going to leave about 1:15. I got 2 cases. I can't get a hold of them, and
It's fine, so slow take.
yeah, I got a building downtown that has no air conditioning. I got to go get some motors for them. I'm still taking care of a few customers, and they're bitching because it's going to be hot. You think the car guys will be in here tomorrow or at Tom's
Oh,
house?
for sure.
They'll be here?
Yeah.
Ah.
Mark and Suzanne's air conditioning went out on their motorhome.
Oh, no.
So I guess they got to put ice on the dogs. I bet those things get really hot.
yeah.
So I guess they're on their way back.
Good afternoon. Thanks so much for calling the Tom Martino Show. Hello, Tom Martino Show. How can I help you? Okay. What's going on? Okay. Are you sure that, are you thinking that it might be a scam, or?
And another hazy day in Denver ahead, but thinner as smoke begins to move on to the east. I'm David Cale. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate.
Starting to get busy out there on the roads and freeways, 40 an hour, I-25 north and southbound, no major complaints.
Okay, let's ask Tom about it. What's your name? Kathy. Perfect. All right, hang on for me, and Tom will be with you as soon as possible, okay? Hold on.
Water doctor.
No, good, thanks.
Learn more about how they are enriching lives one customer, employee, and community at a time. Get connected today at citywidebanks.com.
HTLF Bank is member FDIC.
Need a new roof? Call Excel Roofing, 303-761-6400.
Hear that?
That is the sound of obstacles facing your business. But when you join Lenovo's free online membership program Lenovo Pro to support all your business tech, those obstacles just go away. Join Lenovo Pro for free. Visit Lenovo.com today. Lenovo. Unlock new AI experiences with Lenovo's ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors.
Denver's talk station has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Grand. That's grand. Enter it now at khow.com. Inflation salvation on 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Welcome. We are here to help you solve problems, answer questions, take complaints, make your life a little easier. I have John Fuller with me, myaccidentlawyer.co. He's here to answer questions along with me. And let's talk, Kathy. What's going on?
So I got like a little half sheet of paper folded in half from the United States Census Bureau. And I said, well, this is a scam. Because, you know, almost everything nowadays that's weird is a scam.
Well, the Census Bureau does go around to homes, and they do leave cards. So what do they want?
Well, it's such an extensive survey, and it's just there was a lawsuit that when it came out of Washington because they were asking really personal questions.
Hold on, let me ask you. You're right. It could be a scam. I mean, I don't know if you're right. I mean, you're right to be suspicious because it could be a scam. So, but let me ask you this: Did they knock at the door first?
No, nobody's gone that far. I'm supposed to have it filled out today, but I have.
Was it mailed to you?
Their software. Yeah.
And was it mailed from where?
Where? The address?
Yeah, the address. And where do they want you to? Where do they want you to send the information?
To the U.S. Census Bureau, National Processing Center. There's a P.O. Box, Jeffersonville, Indiana.
Really? Jeffersonville, Indiana. Okay. Go ahead.
It's just question, you know, about your house, about are you looking for a job? You know, could you work if, you know, we're retired, so could you work if you got offered a job? What hours are you gone from your house?
No, that sounds like normal questions, but it could be something weird. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've heard of census questions that ask all kinds of weird stuff. Now, just so you know, that is the address of the Census Bureau, the National Processing Center. Is it specifically 1201 East 10th Street?
No, that's not on here.
What, is there a street on there? Or it's a post office box?
Oh, the little half sheets of paper were 1201 East 10th Street.
That's it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they wanted me to log into their software, and I'm having enormous problems with their software.
And what is the URL? What is the URL they want you to log into?
Oh, okay. Respond.census.gov/ACS.
That's
it. Hey, Tom, I've seen this before. It's called the Community Survey, and they do it sometimes between the 10-year census data.
No, I know. And by the way,
So
you
it
wouldn't
is
believe
legit.
how many people believe it's a scam, and it's not. And I'm telling you that there's a penalty for not responding. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah, they give you that first, and they threaten you with that before you've even taken the survey.
They want to know, do you know some of them ask sexual preference and sexual habits?
Yeah.
Is it
I know.
asking
I think
you?
they've taken that off, but I think that was involved in the lawsuit that was coming out of Washington or that general area.
And you're selected, here's what it says. You're selected randomly. They will fine you if you do not participate. There's a number to call if you have any questions. What do you not want to answer?
Yeah. Well, it's hard because we're in the middle of a move, and so lots of things are packed up, and so they want to know like all kinds of things about like our utility bills. What were they the past 12 months for your gas and electric and that sort of thing, sewer. And then in some questions that were on their computer stuff, they combine sewer and water, and ours are not combined; they're separate. And so there's like no way to answer that question, and so you do because they're threatening. And then if you don't answer questions correctly, you're also threatened with lawsuits and
No, only if you only if you intentionally mislead them. They said.
Okay.
In other words, you can give it your best estimate.
Oh, because it doesn't have anything for approximately. So it'll ask, over the past 12 months. Well, I just don't have all the last 12 months.
By the way, these are done yearly in between the 10-year census. They're done yearly at random addresses, and they just try to keep statistics up to date. And what they say, again, is you do your best estimates of answers. You don't have to do a lot of research, but how do you know it's supposed to be? Did they say the deadline's today to be postmarked, or is someone picking it up?
Yeah, it's no. I would just do it
online. Here's what's really weird. Do you know there are more complaints about the census than taxes and everything else in government? It's the number one complaint they get.
Well, from what I've experienced today, I can believe it.
What did you experience?
It's just I try to use their software. They're online because my response date is today, and it was it put my husband in there 4 times, so I'm supposed to answer all these questions for him 4 times. So if you're getting income, you divide that by 4, and your husband's name's Mike, and so you put 1/4 in for each Mike, and there was no way I could take out the extra husbands, so now I have 4 husbands.
Oh, no.
And then some of the ones that are causing me the biggest trouble is they want to know, like, income for the past 12 months.
Yeah.
Like, in your interest, if you have a bank account or...
And what is wrong? Tell me what you don't want to answer that, or what?
No, I can answer it. What I was going to do is I was going to go to my taxes and pull up TurboTax because I got that on my computer. And then, put in the amounts for interest or, Social Security, that sort of thing. But it asks for the last 12 months. So, I have it for the last calendar year. And so everything's packed up in a box because we're moving. And, this shouldn't be a research project where people have to go back and, pull all their bank statements, all their utility bills for the last 12 months just to answer census. This is absurd.
Kind of is.
I mean, I wouldn't mind putting in, things that I can pull off my taxes for last year. But if I have to go back and, pull all kinds of statements or call Excel or United Power, geez.
Hey, here's the deal. If you should put in as close as possible to the accurate answer and not worry about researching. But you should not respond. If you don't respond, like I said, I've never heard of people like going to jail or anything, but they do become a pain in your ass. I know they talk about
on your doorstep.
I know they talk about possible imprisonment and all that, but that's only for Trump. No one else would get in trouble like that for that.
Well, only the Dems would want this many questions answered, especially on sexual orientation.
I know. Hey, there was one year they were asking so many weird questions. I think they were asking about if you gained or lost weight. I mean, God, you wonder what the hell.
Gosh.
Now, there are some people who are convinced, that this information is going to be used against you somehow, either with insurance companies or with taxes especially. They really hate it because they think they're just looking to raise my taxes. But believe it or not, that census information cannot be used by local assessors. But no one believes that. Everyone believes the government. I mean, everyone mistrusts the government, so they don't want to do it. So, by the way, I saw it. It looks pretty easy to sign on. It really does look pretty easy. Now, Becky, what is your comment? Becky just called in. What is your comment on this?
So I used to work as an enumerator for the census.
Yes.
And we just did the census in 2020.
Yes.
So there is no reason why she would be getting a mailer from the census.
Yes, there is.
We do it every 10 years.
No, that's the extensive census. They do every single year. They do the community surveys, and they randomly pick communities. That's I already read about it here. So the one you're talking about is every 10 years.
She shouldn't be answering those kind of questions.
But you actually work for them. The one you're talking about, you're correct. They do every 10 years. That's the actual big.
And I knocked on the doors and I met with people and counted how many people lived in the apartment or the house or whatever. But
did you find a lot of resistance, Becky?
Never.
Did you find a lot of resistance?
No, not at all.
Really? Okay.
Everybody was very welcoming. Everybody was willing to answer the questions. And just it was really a very nice experience.
Wow.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. And Becky's right. The big survey is the one that happens every 10 years. The community surveys are done every year, but not all over the country every year. They pick the 10-year census, as I said, this is everyone. Then in between, they pick random counties or random addresses, and every year send out those questionnaires to those random ones, and then they combine the data. So, Kathy, like I said, you got to do it. Now, Becky said she wouldn't do it, but she worked for them. But I'm telling you, they have fined people in the past, and you don't want to have to get into that. And as far as online, go ahead.
They tell me in their letter that the survey is to help meet critical needs in your area,
right?
Deciding on where to build new schools, health clinics, and fire stations.
And they do all kinds.
Right. Done for our counties. I mean, that just seems so bogus.
Well, I know it does, but I don't know. Look they also say it's for everything. I mean, the census information, not the people, not your name and address, but the information is shared by tons of people. All of these surveys you see and all of these, everything is based on it. I mean, this is the central data point in the United States. People don't do their own surveys. So, as I said, everything I'm seeing says mandatory, 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 like it or not. It's mandatory. So, you can decide for yourself. And as I said, I looked online and I don't see any issue at all. It let me right online. And again, I had to put in a number there or something, so I'm not one of them, so I can't get in there, but it looks like it's working. 303-713-8255.
Regen Revolution has helped me so much in terms of getting mobile and active again, and now they'll be helping me and you at their new location near Old Town in Arvada. It's an expanded facility, so an even better version of the great care you've come to know from Regen Revolution. The combination of regenerative medicine and more traditional treatment modalities have gotten me back to being able to play sports and exercise in ways I thought I might never do again. Learn more at regenrev.com. That's REGENREV.com.
SimplyFloorsInc.com, which is INC for Incorporated. Simply Floors Inc. really come down to Buddy and Karen Mitchell and their team of experts to help you both choose the right floors for the right mission and then get them installed and serviced. And they do it all through Proximity Mills, their supplier, and 3 showrooms in Denver, and a website where you can make all of your own appointments. SimplyFloorsInc.com. Whether you want luxury vinyl planking, hardwoods, or carpeting, or veneers, or laminates, SimplyFloorsInc.com. Real estate is quite ubiquitous. It used to be we may buy a house once in a lifetime. Now people buy every few years. They're changing addresses. They're also buying speculative properties, rentals, whatever it is. If you need help with real estate, whether it be the transaction or whether it be with the boundaries, the surveys, the documentation, eminent domain, easements, whatever it is, you can go to the people who specialize in real estate law, O'Brien Legal Services, olslaw.com. That's olslaw.com. O'Brien, that's Brad O'Brien and his team, are happy to help you. That's O'Brien Legal Services, olslaw.com.
Station in San Diego. He still lives in Colorado Springs, and he travels out there probably 3 times a month to do.
How much time do I have?
different Types of things for the station, but he's doing a really
3.5.
Thank you.
He's doing great. No, but you can listen to him on the iHeartRadio app or iHeartMedia. Yeah, the podcast. Yeah, but you know, Ryan, his executive producer, is now hosting the show from 2 to 4. Well, yeah, he always gave me a run for my money. I do. It's very true. Okay, no problem. Thank you. Bye. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling the Tom Martino Show. Sure. What's your name? All right. Hold on.
With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
This hour from the Trajan Wealth K-House Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. Denver's talk station. Online at khout.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. So the community census, which is done every year, is different than the 10-year census. Mike's got a comment on it. Go ahead, Mike. What's going on?
Yeah. I worked the 1990 census as a enumerator first. We did the paper, the office paperwork shuffle. And then when that ran out, I volunteered with other people and this other guy to get the stubborn customers. And
right.
We worked these slum hotels on Colfax across the street from Fitzsimmons. They tore them all down. But, I helped one guy falsify one because he just wouldn't open the door and he didn't want to answer. But when I get those lengthy ones, I falsify them. I just make it up,
If you make a good faith effort, and again, I don't know if they take you to court to try to figure out if you lied or not anyway, but a lot of people tell me they do that too. They falsify, or they not falsify, but they just write down random stuff that might be close. Now, technically, if you know something to be not true and you exaggerate one way or the other, supposedly that is a crime. That's worse than not answering. But
the White House can lie to us.
No, not our White House.
Oh, no.
It is amazing, though, when you bring that up seriously, Mike. If you read the campaign emails from either side, honest to God, every single time Biden gets on the air or makes a speech or does an email, he outlines all of these major things he's done in 3.5 years. I mean, I swear to God, and he says every time he's accomplished more than any president in history or in 35 or 50 years or whatever. I don't know where I was. But anyway, thanks, Mike. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. No, I am so tired of when these presidents do this crap. I mean, all of them. When you think about what they say, and when he says he took the worst economy and turned it around, the one he was handed, it was after COVID. I mean, that's kind of like a little disingenuous, don't you think? Chopper, you got a follow-up, Deputy Chopper. What's happening?
Yes, Tom. Last week, Kayla called on a car repair at Grand Valley Auto Repair.
A 2000 Subaru Legacy. She said she said it was a $1,700 thing, and she's having the same problems.
Right, and she took it to Subaru, and they said it was one thing, and she took it back to Grand Valley. They said it was another thing, and I reached out and I talked to her, and I said, why don't you just ask Grand Valley one question? Why do they think their mechanic is better than the authorized repair station at Subaru? Well, she called me back last night and said they agreed to pay for it. My car's fixed, and thank you.
Wow, geez.
That's it.
Just from that question, it's amazing sometimes how a little empowerment to a consumer, telling him how to fight a battle, can help. Honest to gosh.
Yeah, Tom.
So let me ask you something, Chopper. Have you?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever taken part in the census?
Yes, I was paying a little bit of attention to what you were saying, and yes, they do handle leaflets and stuff like that later.
But have you ever answered the questions, or do you resist?
No, I'm just someone that's not paranoid. I guess when you flew the black helicopter, you just don't worry about things like that.
I don't know. I kind of I don't know, and I just don't get it. I don't get it. Get shook up about that kind of stuff. And it is a little paranoia, but man, it's amazing how many people are now texting me They just can't stand the census. And they're saying, like, and I'm talking about from all walks of life, they just don't trust it. Jennifer's another comment. Go ahead, Jennifer. What do you have to say about it?
Yeah, Tom, remember, we should keep in mind that the purpose of the Census Bureau is to enumerate the population, i.e. count noses, and that's it. They have no more authority than that. And that's why whenever I get a census form or the community census, I just trash it. I pay no attention. If they come to the door, I tell them how many people live there, and that's it. And they go, well, if you don't tell us, we can prosecute you. And I tell them, bring it.
Yeah,
bring
you
it.
know what?
You don't realize that in some cases it helps. Look what happened to Colorado. We got an extra seat in the House of Representatives because our population went up.
So
Sounds like a personal problem to me.
Well, what he's saying is it can benefit us, is what he's saying. Also, if you think about it, I mean, it can. It really can. In fact, that's the only way they know how to allot representatives and things is by population.
I've had them send me the community form, and I mailed it back to them on their address in Evans, on Evans in South Denver there. And in about a week, they sent it back to me, FedEx. I trashed it, and they never bothered me again.
I wonder if anyone, listen to this, they say here that there are people who have been fined $500 for false answers, and if they don't pay, they go to jail.
Right. False answers because they signed the form under penalty of perjury. You volunteered into it.
It says here, the sentencing, some of them have gone to fine. Listen to this. For refusing to answer census, there have been people who have been fined as much as $5,000. And it says prosecutions are handled by the U.S. Justice Department. And there have been a handful of prosecutions in history, but none, listen to this, none occurring since 1970, not one.
Because they can't do it. They can't legally do it. They are not authorized under the Constitution to do it. It's an empty threat. Like I say, if you sign your name under penalty of perjury, then they got you. If you don't do anything, they have nothing.
Well, so far, what you're saying rings true because they haven't actually prosecuted since 1970. And that even includes a guy that gave false answers. But anyway, I imagine that if Trump did it wrong, they would come after him. I'm just guessing. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. More right after this.
KHOW Denver, 630 KHOW, an iHeart radio station. Download the free iHeart radio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate.
A couple busy spots all throughout the Denver Metro for the early afternoon commute. Through Commerce City, a crash I-270 westbound at Vasquez has slow traffic back from Northfield and Quebec. We're not sure of lane blockage at the moment, but of course we'll keep you updated. Heading to the south end of town, South Havana Street northbound is closed between East Mississippi Avenue and Tennessee Avenue due to an accident. Watch out for crews on site and possible detours around the area. I-25 north and southbound, no major complaints through town. Same goes for I-70 east and westbound to DIA. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. It's another hot one out there today, folks. High 98 this afternoon, mostly sunny skies. The current temperature in Denver is 95 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
The art of granite is the art of countertops in your kitchen. And they do cabinets too. What I love about the art of granite, they do more than granite. That's the name of the place. But they can fabricate granite, quartz, quartzite, marble, limestone, any solid surface, man-made or natural stone. And they do it with wholesale on all materials. Tear out and haul away is free. If you call them, they give you a price on the phone plus free materials if you can get it from their remnant yard. Give them a call, theartofgranite.com, 303-386-5919. Sheridan Auto Tech will gladly give you estimates for all work they do up front. Sheridan Auto Tech on Colfax, west of Wadsworth. They do new and used cars. Well, when I say new, I mean they can do regular services and keep it under warranty with their records. And, of course, they can do pre-buy inspections on used cars as well. They do electrical issues. They do heavy and light maintenance and repairs. SheridanAutotech.com. Honesty, integrity, value, and longevity. 303-455-7242.
Levi. My dad Brian has been lifting sinking concrete my whole life. Call us, Advanced Mudjacking, 303-424-9441. Estimates are always free. Advanced Mudjacking, the concrete lifting specialists.
Done right kitchens, baths, counters and floors, finished basements, windows and doors. Our 8% scheduling incentive and bank financing to ask about make a great time to call. 800-362-8370 or drhi.com.
Regrow your own natural hair during Advanced Hair's summer sales event. AdvancedHair.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Some actual questions from the U.S. Census, not necessarily in every one of them, but in some of them. Were you sick enough today that you could not attend to your ordinary duties? And if so, what was your sickness? Here's another one. If you are a polygamist, are your wives related? How about this one? Do you have a basement? All right. How about this one? How many TVs do you own? Do you ever enter your home through a front door, do you enter your home through a front door, or do you enter your home through someone else's living quarters? Do you own a radio? Now, okay. Are you in a house, an apartment, or a mobile home? Do you have a mortgage? Do you own outright? What is your telephone number? Well, that's not unusual. What about this? Sexual orientation, yes. Now, according to this, they do not ask about sexual habits, just orientation and how you identify as far as gender. Now, it used to be just male or female, but now they ask, what were you assigned at birth? What are you now? And some other questions. So the surveys change over the years. They have different questions and different demographic issues they want to deal with. They say it's for doling out support, government funding, for taxation, for voting right, representatives, and all of that. So it's and as I said, it's the number one reason people complain about the government. Now that they complain a lot, taxes is another one, all kinds of things. But the census is universally the most complained about government thing there is. Now, by the way, let me give this dinger for that previous thing we had with Chopper, who gave that woman advice on how to get this thing paid for, and it worked. And Brian, you want to give a shout out? Go ahead, Brian. What's going on with you, Brian?
Hi, Tom.
Hey, man.
Hey, I just wanted to let you know I use the Troubleshooter list. I've been using it since I went with Compass Insurance. I used Matt from Paragon when I had a hailstorm up here in Longmont in 23. Did a great job, and he turned me on to Genesis Total Exteriors.
Gosh.
They came out. We got rid of my vinyl siding. We re-sided it with Hardy board, and I couldn't be happier.
My gosh, man, you're a walking billboard. That's great. I'm glad you had such good experiences.
I recommend it to anybody. If you don't want to have any headaches, I would use the Troubleshooter list.
Thank you, man. Seriously, thank you for telling us that. That's referralist.com, of course, he's talking about. And we really do stand behind the people. We love them, and we monitor them, and it's really good. All right, now let's go back to some questions I have by text. Let me just continue this. I got to refresh it. And hold on. Don't forget, FDR used the census to identify Japanese Americans and intern them. That's something. Now, I have questions. If surveys are mandated, let's see, no one has been fined since 1970. That's right. I brought that out. No one's been fined since the 70s, since 1973. With people's distrust and hatred of the federal government, they probably will never find them again. And then it says here, if a census or jury duty notice isn't sent via certified mail, how does the government know you received it? Oh, that's a good question. John, do you know how jury notices are sent out? They're sent out regular mail, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
They are. And they rely upon people to actually
call
obey
in.
them, call in, do their thing, do their civic duty. But I I have been told by people that if it's not certified, they throw it right in the trash and they never give it another moment's thought, which is sad, but true.
Hey, John, is it true that once you mail something first class, it's considered as being delivered?
Well, there is a legal concept that, a 3-day rule that for time computation, but no, a first class mail, I don't think gives you a certification or a presumption of delivery.
All right, we have more coming up. I'm Troubleshooter Tom Martino, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate.
A couple busy spots all throughout the Denver Metro for the early afternoon commute. Through Commerce City, a crash I-270 westbound at Vasquez has slow traffic back from Northfield and Quebec. We're not sure of lane blockage at the moment, but of course we'll keep you updated. Heading to the south end of town, south of Anna Street northbound is closed between East Mississippi Avenue and Tennessee Avenue due to an accident. Watch out for crews on site and possible detours around the area. I-25 north and southbound, no major complaints through town. Same goes for I-70 east and westbound to DIA. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. It's another hot one out there today, folks. High 98 this afternoon, mostly sunny skies. The current temperature in Denver is 95 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
You heard a guy call in and compliment us for referralist.com. We're so proud of the people we have on there. I'm going to talk about two of them right now. One for bathrooms, discountbath.com. If you want a discount bath, but a beautiful bath, and they'll give you prices up front. They'll show you some imaging applications to see what it will look like. And they get you any level of remodel you want for your bathroom or putting in a bath. Discountbath.com, whether it be a hallway half bath or you want a full bath. Or you want a master bedroom bath. Whatever it is, discountbath.com wants a shot at your business. And as I said, there are no secrets. They tell you everything up front so you know what you're in for, and they can get it done quickly as well. 720-979-2322. Finally, a company that realizes they don't have to charge a lot of money to do the quality that you want. Discountbath.com. And another great home improvement company, in fact, the oldest home improvement company in Colorado, KH Home Solutions. K&H Home Solutions used to be KH Windows. That's why the website's khwindows.com. They have Alpin Windows, the exclusive dealer for Alpin, made right here in Colorado. For Colorado, the best window for Colorado, thermally insulated, wonderful windows. Plus, they can do windows, siding, doors, and more. K&H has what you're looking for, and they have it at great prices and dependability. 303-421-7100.
If addiction, trauma, depression, or anxiety are affecting your life and family, the Raleigh House is here for you. The dedicated team of professionals at the Raleigh House provides a premium level of care for substance use and mental health disorders. We believe recovery is possible. The Raleigh House can help. Call 720-797-8717 to get the help you need. That's the Raleigh House. 720-797-8717.
Summers are beautiful in Colorado, so don't spend them painting. Do what your neighbor Tom did, called Rhino Shield.
Our house was built in 1986, and the paint was starting to look a little worn. I decided I need to give Rhino Shield a call.
Rhino Shield ceramic technology is specifically formulated for our unique climate right here in Colorado, and it's Class 1 fire rated.
The Rhino Shield crew was quite good, and the people were top notch. I basically came home 2 days after they started it, and it was done.
Right now, Colorado, you can get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 10% off the regular price.
Even now, when we're riding together, we come home like, man, that looks great. And we've had compliments from friends that have been over and looking at it, and it just really looks awesome.
Here's owner Jim Williams.
This offer is limited, so call me at 844-317-4466. That's 844-31-RHINO or rhinoshieldco.com.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling the Tom Martino Show. I'm sorry? Frank? This is the Tom Martino show? Okay. Did you want to talk to Tom Martino? Did you have a situation that you want to talk to him about?
USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise. No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex freight structures. It's just easy, cost-effective.
Tom Martino?
Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage.
Martino.
Huh.
Martino. Yes, he is.
Save big on Techno School with super low Staples hot deals. Right now, get up to $300 off select PCs at Staples. Ends 8/21.
Okay. Well, usually we give all of our clients who become a banker. And let me give you that phone number. It's 303.
Olympic moments and live hourly updates from Paris. Bring the Summer Games with you everywhere you go. Download the free iHeart app now and enable push notifications for live updates from Paris. Only on iHeartRadio, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics.
It's the Dan Kapla Show. Afternoons 4 to 6.
John Caldera fills in once again for Dan and reflects on President Biden's farewell address to the nation Wednesday night. He drops out of the race but stays in office. It all starts at 4 on 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. So, man, people don't like the census, I'll tell you that. By the way, if you had to pick from the census, the best, they have all kinds of information. What's the best house for, the best state, not the best, but the one with the most and the friendliest attitude and the most per capita tiny houses? What state? If you had to guess one, John, what would you say? Tiny houses.
Texas.
Let's see. Texas is number 9. Not bad. Not bad. 1 is Vermont.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's pretty weird.
You know, for tiny houses. Number 2 is Kentucky. And then Arkansas. And then Maine, Minnesota, Montana, Alabama, Georgia, Texas. Colorado, where are we? Colorado is number, where the hell? Number 35 in the top 50. 35.
We'll probably move up, though, because we're buying a ton of those things for homeless people.
Tiny houses, by the way, are not all cheap, by the way. They're not. So they're starting to make some more luxurious ones for seniors that have money that want to retire. Some of them going to Texas and getting their tiny house. Although Texas, where does Texas rank here? Number 9. Okay, that's what you see. Yeah, number 9. And but
there's a few manufacturers down there. I think that was why I was led to.
And these are not mobile homes. You understand that? They're tiny homes, and they're now some of them are prefab, obviously, but they're not mobile homes. They literally get put on a slab or a foundation, and they might be built off-site, but and some of them are quite cute, you know. But when you think about it, they say this might be the trend for a lot of young people today. Tiny houses. I don't know if I like that or not. What do you think? Okay, I was just looking at something else and happened to notice this trend. And right now, the number 1 searched thing is Jennifer Aniston. Apparently, she had a lot to say about J.D. Vance. Why the hell anybody cares, I don't know. The next one was this Washington, D.C. attack on this woman. God, was it how ruthless. This single mom was attacked by a group of teenagers in Washington, D.C. I don't know if you've heard about it, but that was searched number 2 after Jennifer Aniston. And she says the teens literally were giddy. They were enjoying it so much, just beating the hell out of her. I mean, sometimes it's hard to believe that this is going on. Park Fire's next, Jasper Fire. A lot of people are doing that. Yesterday, of course, it was the speech that Biden gave from the White House, and then it was Netanyahu, and all of that you would expect. However, Harris doesn't appear in the top 25 searches. What does that tell you? Since she announced.
Crazy. Have you seen all the crazy stuff that's out there about Biden's speech? I mean, there are people that are dissecting that thing like crazy. I mean,
yeah,
they've even zoomed in on
Doctors.
his watch to say that the watch had the wrong time and
I know.
all this weird, crazy stuff. It's just, I don't know how people have that much time on their hands, you know?
Anyway, I don't know either, and I do think he's kind of being picked on now. I mean, he really is. I mean, you know, but the guy won't lay off. I mean, I swear to God, every single speech he makes, he warns us about dictators and kings and our democracy.
Well, people sometimes when they get old, they just have a little talk track in their mind, and they just say the same stuff
Yeah,
over
but those
and
are the
over.
talking points of the
what they
whole
go
party.
to, you know?
I mean, apparently America's going away if Democrats don't win. But anyhow, I just thought I'd let you know that. But it's going to go, and we're going to have a dictator. So I think that, wow. Anyway, I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. I want you to tune in to referralist.com for help, information, referrals, and then call 303-MARTINO to get in line for a show. Seriously, 303-627-8466 for help. And you can call at any time, and then we'll get you on the next show. That's 303-MARTINO. Thanks, John, for being here. Save all your problems for me.
Right on.
See you, man. See you guys.